Hello, hi guys, welcome back to the Football Showdown channel. We are back to normality. We're sitting with the same kind of background, we're wearing the same kind of hoodie, assuming that a few certain changes from last stream brought in the jinx that has happened or that has caused a sort of a heartbreak yesterday. Uh, but yeah, a lot of things have happened yesterday. A lot of reactionary fans have gone out of context with a lot of their criticism, or in the name of criticism, they've gone over and beyond regarding the tie. People need to really understand that the tie is still not yet over, and for a fact, it is not yet over. It's just a 1-0 victory to PSG. If Arsenal could have a quick start at Paris, it could change. But for now, we need to go back to the drawing boards, understand what has happened, and to do that, we need to be critically uh, analyzing the play, our players, and the situation. And to help me with the tactical side and to bring in a lot of perspective to what had happened yesterday, for a level headed analysis, let me call upon my panel, Aarush and Parth. Hey guys,
Hello.
I
Hello,
hope,
hello, hello.
yeah, I know about Aarush since we were there even yesterday on stream. Parth, Mr. Parth, how are you?
Uh, I'm doing much better after watching the game again. So yeah, all the thoughts that I had in the night, yeah, I feel that they've died down a bit. Yeah.
Good, good, good. Because honestly, yesterday we did talk about a few points. Probably we will talk in depth about all of that points that we mentioned even yesterday. So quickly, uh, just let me know what you think about the penalty shot. We'll start from there. Like just as a as a as a as a as a warm up thing. Let's just talk. Do you think it was a penalty yesterday for PSG?
Arush.
No,
I
no.
gave my
I know what
opinion, but
Arush said it
yeah,
yesterday, so I will
I
just
gave my
quickly,
opinion.
yeah. What do you think?
Uh, have I seen those shouts being given? Yes, but
Hmm.
I feel that Timber let go of Kvaratskhelia at the right moment, and it actually looked like a dive. I mean, I wouldn't
Uh,
have been surprised if it would have been given, but since the referee was involved in the play and he had the best view of it, I feel the
hmm.
decision was right.
Okay, fair enough.
Uh,
I personally felt it was a penalty, but when I like thought after some time, like after the stream, I was like, you know what? He just touched him and then he dived. He beat three of his men and then was ready to take a shot. And what
Yeah.
happened? He, he dived, right? So in all fairness, I guess it is not a penalty. But if it was given as a penalty, I don't think VAR would have like
yeah, that's what
I
overturned
Salman
agree.
it.
also mentioned yesterday. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly,
Yep.
exactly. Yeah. Arush, any like thoughts regarding that, or you stick with your decision? Then it's not
No,
a
no, I
penalty.
stick with my decision. It was way too soft because he let go,
Mm,
and we
Mm.
mm,
compared it to the Real Madrid game, and we
mm,
Yeah.
spoke of the Merino one. We spoke of the
yeah,
one that Rice threw. I don't remember the player whom he threw down, but
mm,
we compared it to those, and it was much similar to the Rice one, where Rice
mm.
touched him and let go of him. But again, if this was a decision given on field, I don't think VAR would have overturned it. So fair play to whatever the decision was currently.
Yeah. We are filled with a bunch of comments. Hey guys, we're making progress. How do we know? With a lot of comments in spite of just starting. Hey Anna, good evening. Is it good? Good evening. Good evening. Anna says our midfield created some good chances. You can see how MLS or different guys ran through the middle to create some very good chances.
Yes,
Fair enough.
sir.
True. Lalaji, how are you? I know this doesn't come from a good place in your heart where you wish that Arsenal does a remontada, but welcome to the stream. I hope you're doing well. Congratulations on winning the title.
This is third stream in a row where we are congratulating them.
Ha, ha, ha. I mean, like, if we don't, like, it's fine. It is fine. It's fine. We'll definitely have a Liverpool stream that time. We'll probably will discuss a lot
Yeah.
more. But yeah, welcome. Sanchit, my YouTube networking bro. How are you? We wouldn't be crying if penalty wasn't given to us.
We would be.
We would be
I
crying. Yeah,
agree.
we would.
I
Oh,
agree.
true,
Yeah.
fair enough, fair enough. We needed Thomas Partey yesterday. Yeah, yeah. Never in a million years did I think that Thomas Partey would be the key reason why we lost the game when he's not on pitch. So, yeah, what a loss. I think that penalty decision was 50-50. Even if the ref gave, no one would have argued that
Yeah,
decision maybe. True,
I
true,
agree.
true. Keshav, my SRH bro, how are you? Partey needed to be there. Enough said. Fair. I don't care. I don't care how, but Thomas can be the difference maker in the second leg.
Very
I think we
clearly.
all know. I think we all know how.
100%.
I think we just all know how. I think one thing that I think collectively all of us can agree for a fact is that uh, we are lucky to not lose by more than 2 goals. We were
Yep.
down by just 1 goal.
Very, very
Uh,
lucky. I
yeah,
mean, as much as we mentioned the chances we had on our end in terms of Trossard and Martinelli,
Hmm,
the chances they fluffed,
hmm,
especially the ones with Barcola and Ramos, where
hmm,
you can argue that one of them was offside in the build-up or whatever. I
hmm,
yeah,
think
hmm,
those were chances which could have been put to bed because if
hmm,
Ramos even had the single brain cell of actually putting the
uh,
shot properly and not toe
yeah.
poking that shot, that's a goal.
Hmm, hmm,
And that's
hmm,
just
hmm, hmm,
ending the tie completely in their favor. And I'm
hmm,
very sure how annoyed Enrique must have been after that miss
hmm, hmm,
because
hmm,
you see the chances we had, they were clear-cut chances saved by the keeper, fair enough.
hmm,
But then the
hmm.
chances they had, they could have put the game to bed.
I agree.
True, true.
But
Uh,
in the balance of play, I feel that a 1-0 result is a good iteration of the game.
uh,
Yep.
Yeah,
true, true. Probably I'm very petty at this point, but the fact that Dembele's goal was like a most one-off kind of goal, everything had to work. I said it even yesterday. I'll probably still cry about it. It's like the ball
uh,
spin had to be there in his favor. That shot, he would miss 9 out of 10 times. But yeah, it was a goal in the end. We can't say much, and we just have to move on. The game is a game.
Again,
That's it.
again, like I always love to say, this
Uh,
is what an ambi-pedal player can do.
okay, yeah. You and your ambidextrous shots, we should throw you somewhere at this point. But yeah. Before we before we dive deep into the analysis and talk critically about our team, our players, and our play, let's just be happy with the kind of players that we are with the channel. With 612 subscribers, we are doing really well. We are trying to hit that 15 like target for this stream so that we can make sure that this stream is on the algorithm where people generally watch a lot of Arsenal content.
yeah,
But another important thing is to make sure that we bring in the right connections to help our stream at the same time the right people to help us do well, right? Someone, maybe someone from the UK would be great, and to help us out for our first Arsenal collaboration on this channel, let me call upon Arun from Malu Talks Arsenal, a channel that was
Yo,
started just less than 1 year back with almost 1.5K subscribers. He's doing really great with his friend Deepak. Uh, Congratulations, Arun. Welcome to the
yeah.
stream.
Thank you guys. Thank you so much for the invite.
Yeah, I'm so glad you made it to the stream. Thank you so much. Deepak did tell me that you would be working and would be available only after 5:30 UK time. I think the time is around 4 or 4:30. Thank you so much for giving us your time.
Yeah, no problem. That's fine.
thank you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You being in the UK, was there a certain vibe before the game that was different from what we saw online, or was it exactly like similar?
Oh, one thing for certain is that I can see a lot of Arsenal shirts in the gym more than I've seen in the past 2 years. For sure, it's been, yeah. You never know. Like with Arsenal, it's a very huge craze that I, as an Arsenal fan from India, did not actually realize that because I thought, yeah, okay, London is a big city, it has prominently three clubs, Arsenal, Chelsea, and Spurs. So I thought somewhere Chelsea fans might be a bit more, because of their recent success
Normal.
and everything.
Yeah,
Yeah, but it's crazy, man. Arsenal fans will take over if we win a major trophy. Mark my words, we're gonna take over London for sure because hell of an Arsenal fan. The the first experience for me was uh, the first time when watched. I didn't watch in the match. I went to the stadium, in Emirates Stadium. It was the Liverpool game that we won 3-2 2 years ago in the 22 season. That was a
Martinelli scored, of
crazy
course.
game. Like, I didn't watch the match. Okay? I didn't go get the tickets or anything. I just went there just to just to vibe. But bro, that's one of the best experience I've had as an Arsenal.
Uh,
And the other one actually tops because that's the Arsenal Bournemouth game that I watched live. So I can proudly say that I have been one of that person. Me and Deepak bro were extremely blessed to watch the match in live. So yeah, no
mhm.
complaint. But I can say coming to this match is absolutely brilliant. You see people wearing the Arsenal tops everywhere you go. Like most of them, because I don't live in London. I live a bit more farther from London, like a 1 hour, 1.5 hour from London. So still the craze is really great here. And of course, the match did not turn out really good. I'm sure that we're gonna discuss on.
Yeah.
Definitely. Speaking about the fans and everything, right? I think it's like get straight into it. The first criticism that everyone felt was the fact that the stadium did not feel like that Arsenal were playing a semi-final, right? First of all, when compared to what we did in the quarterfinals for the Madrid game, I thought uh, the whole setup in the stadium was not that that loud or like that
Yeah.
scary or like intimidating for the opponents. And then this people, oh, yeah,
Yeah.
we as fans watching on TV felt like the fan base in the stadium was dead. Were you able to, did you watch the game in a pub or did you watch
No,
it
no,
at
no.
home? Like, how was it in London?
I could not watch it. I was not able to because I was not in a state to go to a pub to watch it.
Okay.
So I watched it from home. I watched it from home. But
Mm,
uh, personally, I was so disappointed with the club's decisions. The decisions in terms of managing the fans and everything. I'm not pretty much the fan community and everything. They're doing their best actually. So you have for me that the thing there is this thing uh, that I experienced when I walked with the Ashburton army. Okay, that's a different feel, man. That is different.
Yeah.
That I've never experienced that because the match was gonna start. I'm not talking about this match. I'm talking about the Liverpool match that I saw. So I was just roaming around. I saw this red and white smokes going, and I just walked with them the through under the tunnel. They go into the stadium. That's an emphatic walk. Like when you can imagine how crazy they go, all the chants and everything. They do the chants. They the vibe is totally different, man. So for the fans are so passionate about it, but the club is not recognizing this
Yeah.
thing. I feel very disappointed when Ashburton Army tweeted the fact that they raised around £10,000 for a tifo, and then they did not approve of it because of some tifo designs, and they and they ended up with this thing, which I couldn't believe when I saw that on TV. It was crazy. Like I don't know. Like it's really disappointing, man. What did you guys think about
Uh,
Uh,
we'll start with Aarush. Aarush, how did you feel about
Well,
this?
that was quite embarrassing for what I thought the club would put up because I'd seen the news that the Make It Happen Wala poster would be there with similar designs that was there to the prior game versus Real Madrid, and I was happy with that one. But then this one, I mean, if you're making a tifo of the highest of order of the length that is there, at least cover it properly to whatever you would expect it to be, at least the dimensions that are there. And the fact that they put it up and it still wasn't completely visibly straight. That was quite embarrassing. I mean, if you're putting a canon of the logo, fair enough, it is in our culture, whatever it is. But I think a certain text next to that would have made a big
Yeah.
difference, or at least a lengthwise. I know that the Emirates has certain things as to it can't afford to have tifos in a particular way, but considering the fact that you've put up the amount of work into making a tifo on your own, it should be something better than the proposed designs, and it certainly wasn't.
Yep.
But
See, for me, a tifo should be intimidating, and it should instill some sort of fear in the players and in the rival fans visiting. But it was just, I won't say that the design was bad. It was classy, but then if the design is classy, then you have to back it up with the crowd and the stadium, being up for the game and chanting all through the game. Because I do not expect Arsenal fans to show the love that they have for the club when things are going good. That that is one thing that every supporter will do. I want to see fans being involved when you are, down and out, you're struggling, and you need that bit of motivation that would, push you to score and be on top of things, which clearly didn't happen yesterday, and neither did it happen against Bayern Munich last season. It's kind of embarrassing, and I feel that it's just the English culture where, the fans aren't as up for the game as they should be. Because I've seen in other countries, the fans, it doesn't matter if the team is losing or winning the game, they're always loud, and that is what I expect the match going fans to be. Yeah.
fair enough, fair enough. We're taking a few comments that are regarding the Tifo, and then we'll get into the match, the actual match. Uh, Keshav says that cannon Tifo was looking like a warehouse trampoline plot which was washed a number of times. I'm ashamed speaking about it. The Tifo looks very rushed, last minute ordered. If there were
Yeah.
issues with design Tifos, some changes could have been advised. Fair.
Agree.
European clubs and fans are built differently. They cheer even when their teams are losing. Salahad Park is better than the Emirates. I think it was the 22-23 season, right? When I think for the first time we have
First,
seen, yeah, the first
that
game
was
of
the
the
first
season.
game of the season.
Mm-hmm. I think that was the first time I saw an English team having a tifo in general. And after that, Newcastle has been doing many more times after that. So I think Crystal Palace for the first time they've done that. Why they did that, I do not know, but it was nice. It was genuinely nice to see. Yeah. Before we get into the match analysis, to all the 14 concurrent viewers out there, thank you so much for tuning in, for all the love you're showing. But you could definitely like the stream so that this stream is part of the algorithm where other Arsenal fans or other people who are consuming football content would definitely see, and this would put this stream in that algorithm. Yeah. Let's come to the match. I think this is a clear example of what had happened. First 3 minutes, the goal that we conceded was from a 0.07 XG. I think we all agree for a fact that it was not something Dembele would score 9 out of 10 times. It is something he would score 1 out of 10 times. Right. In the end, the we ended with a 1.69 XG and PSG with a 1.23. These are all numbers. I know how these numbers can be very misleading, right? In the end, how many goals are there next to your club and how many goals you have conceded is going to matter. Uh, Short and sweet, what do you guys think had happened in the game before we get critically regarding each player and each phase of the game? We'll start with Parth. Okay, Parth, go ahead. What do you think?
Uh, the game was basically divided into proper phases. So the first 20 minutes belonged to PSG, the next 20 belonged to Arsenal. The 20 after that, from the 40th minute to the 60th minute, I feel it was evenly poised. From the 60th to the 70th minute, it was Arsenal, and from the 70th minute to the 80th, from the 60th minute to the 80th minute, it was Arsenal, and the last 10 minutes, it was PSG. So it was all about, taking your chances, because the game in the first half was cagey. I would even say that, PSG had the upper hand in the first half, but in the second half the game was pretty open, and it could have gone either way. So the game actually could have ended up being 2-1 to the Arsenal, or it could also have been 3-0 to PSG. So it was that kind of a game. Yeah.
Fair, fair. Arun, bro?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I believe that I saw there were some tactical gaps that I felt. Normally, what I like, they were able to bypass the midfield very fast. Like
Yeah.
someone in the midfield was always free. If that happens, that means that there is some tactical issue. There was some tactical issue in the first half. Yeah, so I just felt that our midfield did not were not able to dominate as I expected, or we all expected. And one other thing was like we're trying too much to control the game. I agree that we need it for like 90% of our game, that we need to set up a tempo. But for Champions League or like crucial knockout games, you have to go for it. Like you have to sometimes go for it. You just can't keep on setting up a tempo every time. You just can't control the game every time, because you have to respect. Like when you have to think about your opponent, that they are good players. Like they are not they're not some Jack and Bobby is like is they are good players. Like the midfielders, Jao Neves, and even if it's Fabian Ruiz, they're all really good international players. So I just think that sometimes if it doesn't go your way, it's the story of Arsenal in the last 3 years, I believe. Like when we, except for the 22 season, I believe that's the only season I thought I ever expected us to come back even if we are a goal down.
Yeah. I agree.
So like the other times there during if we are 1-0 down, if we don't score in the first half, especially if we don't score in the first half, that's it. We are mostly inclined to drop points for those kind of games. So I just think that we are trying too much to tactically dominate the game instead of you know grabbing it by the neck and just showing them that this is our home. And yeah, it didn't happen. But credits to PSG and Luis Enrique as well, because he came to Emirates in the during the now they lost here once, but Luis Enrique came a different. He tried something different this time. Clearly worked. Yeah, but our attack was not good enough to score that goal. I'm pretty sure whatever Arteta is trying to do is going to work if we have a good striker, or if we have some kind
I
of
agree.
good attacking force. Okay, so I'm not saying here being really critical about Arteta. I think his tactics are bullshit. No, that's not the case. But what I'm trying to tell is like if we should have been a bit more in an attacking mind, or should have been a bit more had that spike within us rather than the
Intensity was it.
approach. The approach was different. Yeah, that's my perspective.
Fair enough. Before we get to Arun, this was, do you think this specific stat is kind of misleading? That, yeah, it felt like a fair game, but in terms of if you look at the kind of uh, um, ball position that PSG had, look, as per the graph, PSG are the one that dominated with the ball, right? But numbers or stats can tell you only some part of the story.
Yeah.
Arif, do you agree to this, or do you think that it was more like they had the ball, but we were kind of effective for the amount of ball we had? I
Well, I
know.
think
Mm,
it's
mm,
similar to what Arun has said. We had majority of the ball, but the intensity with what we did with the ball was completely
Yeah.
um we played according to what PSG wanted us to do basically. And that was having the ball in the wider zones, doubling up, tripling up both Martinelli and Saka. You negotiate with the passing lane. The one passing lane that you have for Saka is an Odegaard. Odegaard wasn't on top of his game, and the routes to getting the ball from Odegaard to Saka were completely blocked. Then you had the same things of just playing in crosses that we've been doing even since the Bayern game, and that's what we saw again yesterday. And for a fact, I think tactically it was a very good battle once. Luis Enrique started the game, got the goal quickly. They had obviously they'd have the upper hand with the goal in order to attack back at us. Even the crowd couldn't actually make a difference to Arsenal's football in the opening 20 minutes, which was I don't know what to say to be honest because without the crowd we had even when we had the crowd even when we had the ball and like the domination of possession, the crowd only stood up when we had set pieces, which
Yeah.
was a joke. And we were inventive in whatever we did. I think the way we battled the press, everyone must have seen how the 4-4-2 and the 4-2-1-3 or the 4-2-3-1 was used.
Yeah.
And stuff like that actually got us into the game. And like Arun and Parth also mentioned, the fact that our midfield was ran through. It You could just see that how a ball carrier could make a difference in the side because of a no party or because of Merino holding this game. And this, for a matter of fact, was a game where Merino should have been the target man in the box. The one time we had it through a set piece, he managed to head that goal in. And then you had Trossard, who was playing a hybrid of both the center forward and the left center mid. You can't expect much from majority of these players because in the end, these guys are the squad players from our team. The ones we are supposed to be having to make the difference are all on the injury list, or one of them is just suspended for this game. So make of that what you will. Hopefully the second leg does get a bit better than what it is currently for us.
Fair enough. We'll take in a few comments. There are a lot of comments. Uh, yeah, Kalakar, I think this is the first time you're on the channel. Welcome to the stream. Uh, D- Welcome to the stream, bro. I hope you're subscribed and are liking what we're doing out there. Your comment says, I didn't watch the match, slept, but watched the replay. And that goal, which was conceded due to an error of our attacking players not tracking back and doubling up and double up, especially Saka and Merino. Ooh. Uh,
Uh,
I've got a
well, well,
different view on this.
everyone's
mm,
got a particular player that they're
Uh,
trying to look at throughout
yeah,
mm,
no,
this.
no,
mm,
no. I
mm.
would put the blame on Trossard and Odegaard.
Oh, okay.
Trossard and
Okay.
Odegaard.
Tossard
Yeah.
and Odegaard. Okay.
Explain. I have not heard this perspective though.
Okay. We'll start with that part. Go on.
Uh, Take in the comments and I'll explain it later.
Okay. Okay. Arun, bro, any thoughts on this, or do you want to like talk? We'll talk about it later.
No much. Like it was a sucker punch at the start, so
Yeah.
we were not too
It's
much ready. We were cold. We were really
Mm,
cold. So and
mm,
they just took the opportunity. Dembele just took that opportunity. Just it's as you said, he needs a bit of luck also because
mm,
that
mm,
hit the post and went inside. It could have gone outside. It could have gone somewhere else.
mm,
It's
mm,
just that moment that, but that's the lack. That's something that lacks for us that we don't try enough. We don't try those kind of things enough. We don't risk too much. So them they just didn't care. They just did like, okay, why not? Just go for it.
ah,
That's what
yeah. I
that kind
agree.
of attitude
Fair enough.
you need sometimes. You
I
just
agree.
can't always global textbooks.
It was on the left hand side with the left foot scored on the right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, no, why were we leaving Dembele free? We could have marked him. Bukayo didn't get back to mark him, and Deck was trying to close on Kvaratskhelia because Tilbury was in 1v1 with him that made Dembele free to score. Hmm.
Well,
Okay.
well, well.
Yeah.
Uh,
We
Uh,
yeah, we can just argue amongst ourselves,
yeah, exactly.
but yeah,
uh,
See,
we have to.
first of all, this was very, very well drilled tactically.
Yeah,
For
uh,
a matter of fact, this is the exact same goal
Same goal they
Enrique's
scored
side
versus
has scored
Liverpool.
against Liverpool.
Liverpool.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was exactly the bait of press from the left hand side,
Mm,
exactly drew the space from the
mm,
midfielders. Dembele dropped deep from a centre forward's role, collected,
mm,
went through. He played the pass on the left flank. Last time he played the pass on the right flank. Across
mm.
came in and he scored. It's just the
Yeah.
same thing, very well drilled. Fair enough. We can argue between ourselves, but we'll have our say later.
Okay, I'll bring up Dembele's heat map to be for people to understand this
He
topic.
was everywhere, man. He was
Yeah, right.
everywhere.
He was everywhere. Kalak, this argument of they could have scored two or three just lazy Aarush.
Huh?
The keeper saved is his job, and just like that, Barcola or Ramos not scoring is just the same. Retrospection is biased.
Uh, we can say that. What if Merino wasn't off? What if Trossard scored the goal? What if Martinelli scored his chance? It would have been 4-1 to Arsenal.
Well,
Mm,
for a matter of fact, I know that Arsenal wouldn't have given them the opportunities to actually attack in the second half if they were actually locked in.
mm,
Yeah,
Because
mm,
if we are not the type of club to actually give chances on the transition,
I
and we
agree.
still managed
mm,
to
I
do.
agree.
It was because
mm,
of how desperate we were in order to get that goal, and that
mm.
wouldn't have happened either. So fair
Mm.
enough.
Uh, Vamsi says, "Hey guys, no, hi guys. My friend just started watching football and is
First,
and was viewing UCL can't be Arsenal getting knocked out. Well,
uh,
the tie is just at halftime. Wait on us. There's a lot to be played. Or Bukayo could have helped Timber with Kvaratskhelia's battle. Huh. Okay. Uh, Perfectly explain why we consider that goal. Fair. Salah doesn't help out Trent. Every team has one superstar who doesn't contribute
nah,
much defensively.
nah, nah,
Rest of
nah,
the
nah,
team,
nah, 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 nah. No, no, no,
okay,
no. This is lazy. That is not how Arsenal plays football. So yeah,
okay, okay. Uh, Thoughts or
uh,
should it? Yeah,
yeah.
go on, go on.
Explaining the Odegaard Trossard point, I wouldn't even blame it completely on Odegaard. I'd blame it on Trossard because
Mm,
when the chance was created, it was Kvaratskhelia who was 1v1 with Timber, and it
mm,
was Rice who was there if Timber got dribbled past. And
mm,
Merino was coming in to block the shot. He was not coming to block the man. And
mm,
again, in my opinion, it should be the strikers who should be falling back and defending. And they could have at least they could have pushed him or put him off his shot. It could have been done
mm.
because the others were there to avoid a shot. They were not there to avoid the situation. So that is how I explain it.
But see, for a matter of fact, Trossard was playing much on the left-hand side of this passage of play when Nuno Mendes had the ball. He was
Hmm.
clearly marking out Marquinhos on the other end when Martinelli was tracking Hakimi's run. He was
Yeah,
shadowing his run.
yeah,
So if the ball comes in play through the center, you can either blame a Martinelli, Rice, or a Merino through this because these are the three key players who played in that same zone. And for a matter of fact, okay, I agree. This part you can leave your runner go ahead. But then when Kawara had the ball in the box, it was Rice who was actually blocking that passing lane. He saw
hmm.
Kawara come closer to the box, edge of the box. Rice actually pushed inside and gave
Yeah.
that angle to Dembele. And you can argue that Merino, because I remember watching the game and I saw Merino jog on the pitch on the third minute
I agree.
of play.
I agree.
And I was like, no, this is not looking good because this is the first counter we're having in the game. And
Yeah.
if you don't come to cut the passing lanes, this is what will happen. And it proved costly now.
That's
Exactly
what
what
I
I think.
was
That's my thing.
telling about being a bit cold. We were a bit too cold in the
Yeah.
first 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Like,
We got caught out. I mean, I don't think that Arteta was expecting such an onslaught from PSG.
yeah, yeah.
See, not expecting such an onslaught is very what to say. I would just say it's because you as a manager you tend to like set up the team and motivate the team and the kind of stuff that has been said even during warm up. I remember Declan Rice saying, "If we don't have the ball, we'll die, or if we die, or something like that." Right.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So not saying that it is not expecting it, it is wrong. I think just like how Arun bro has said it from the start, we were not ready. Uh,
Huh.
like we as players there on the pitch, I don't think they were like playing the game. They were just falling for the occasion, and I think the nerves got to them. It's only after the first 20 minutes where they started to feel that oh shit, we're playing a
And
football game and we
it
need
was
to start
it was
playing well.
after the first 20 minutes that Arteta actually sorted us out tactically. And
Mm,
once you see the Dembele goal happen, Dembele tried to drop in the midfield and carry the ball, but it was averted once Saliba. We weren't pressing. Dembele was not being followed by his marker everywhere he was going because we were banking on the fact that our midfield we will be able to cut it off. But after we conceded that goal, we made sure that the centre back who was marking Dembele in the box was the one who was tracking him till the end to avoid those chances where he can just connect the play in the midfield. So I won't say we didn't adapt. We did adapt, but it was just after we conceded a goal.
Mm.
Yeah.
Uh, Nishit says conceiving a
Uh,
single goal is not an issue, but scoring none is an issue.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
This is
I agree.
something that we have to majorly. I believe this is the major issue. I
Hmm.
believe if we concede a goal at first, then we just can't find any way to score again.
Yep.
I don't know how that kind of genetics got like from the recent past. Like in the last 2 years, we didn't have any problem scoring goals, and how did that just creep in? I have no idea. Maybe Odegaard's lack of form, Martinelli's lack of decision making. I don't know. Like I don't know if
Exactly. Yeah.
this is how we have been playing since the last 2 3 years. But how did this become so much issue in this year? I have no idea.
I think it's for the fact that we don't have majority of our attacking players for like all the combinations that Arsenal are known to be playing in that attacking front, right? Either one of them will get injured or one of them will have a knock or and they'll be out of it. It's like one by one, not like all of them gone at the same time and they come back at the same time. It's like one time
Yeah.
Odegaard will get injured while Saka and Havertz are there. While Odegaard is the one that lays out the ball to like Saka, or like he goes to the left, he goes to the right with Saka coming, or Saka, I mean, or Kai Havertz getting injured, or Saka getting injured. So I think that is what caused us not able to have
And
that fluidity up top. But yeah, go on, John.
also, I think tactically we've also changed. If you see
I
what we
agree.
used to
Yeah.
be since the 2022-23 season, you see the amount of times our wingers used to track back. You used to see the midfield profile in Xhaka that we used to have. You compare it to a left center mid second striker hybrid that we have now. Then you compare Gabriel Jesus playing from center forward to left wing that helps Martinelli, all these stuff. Then is Zinchenko coming in and inverting. These people had a major reason as to how attackingly we did well that season, and we haven't managed to bring that consistency, at least in terms of lining up the same 11, at least for 2 to 3 games in a row. Injuries has been, like Suchit said, injuries have been a big reason for our season to derail in a way like this.
Yeah.
We'll take in, oh God. Hey, Parth, if Bruno was in Odegaard position yesterday, we would have scored at least one.
Hey Vamsi, if
Brilliant.
Bruno was in Odegaard's possession yesterday, we would have considered at least two. Simple.
Yeah, that's,
There's no way Bruno could have kept that ball against that press against that
Whoever,
PSG.
but I am not even bothering answering the questions on Bruno and Odegaard. I am done.
Hmm.
it's a lazy comparison. I don't know why
Uh,
we keep on doing it. Like I agree. I know that Bruno is a really good player actually, but he's not that
Hmm.
player that we need for the number eight.
exactly, exactly.
Okay, huh. Also, Odegaard needs to be more adventurous in big matches. He's more concerned about about other things than overthinking. The Tifo Proust club administration is dipped in wokeism.
Wokeism.
We need as much an army hardcore. Uh, okay, firstly, Odegaard needs to be more adventurous, definitely. Because there were some of the
100%.
passes which he would have done back in 22-23 season. Like when
Even
Saka and
last year.
Martin.
Even
uh,
last year.
Yeah, okay, even last
Yeah,
year when Saka and Martin,
100%.
when he had runners, he used to put him through ball or like lob a ball for them, right? Yesterday I think I saw two incidents where Saka was making the run, but Odegaard was like, chuck it. I'll just put in a side pass, a nice cute curling a side pass. And I was like, Dude, he's making the run. Just go for it. We know Sasha can body his defender and like do something. But yeah, it was just poor, man. It was genuinely poor from Odegaard yesterday. The second part, Ashburton Army. See, had they come up with better designs, I would definitely be up for it. But what they showed, and at least what they put out on social media, I was like, I could have generated that using ChatGPT and Gemini. Like, it was, nah, those were genuinely bad. And the fact that Money Heist is a Spanish show and not even a French, nowhere close to a French show. It was completely out of context. So yeah, in my
Yeah.
opinion, yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
No, no. The when I one thing is like the club did not approve of it, but the club has to recognize them because these guys have the potential to be one of the the top ultras in this country's league, because that's how good they do everything. The way they coordinate and they do the way they do stuff is unbelievable. So we need the club should actually you know. Uh, push them more to do such stuff, because that creates a huge energy that I don't know why the club can't recognize. The new ticketing system and everything is not good enough for this ballot system is actually ruined the atmosphere which was there in 22 23. From 23-24 was not there, but still our game was on a good standard. So hence it was okay. But this season, when the game's gone and the fans is also gone, it's all a mess now. So yeah, the club administration has to have a look at it. Yeah.
I just noticed, did Parth get disconnected or like something happened?
Probably.
Yeah, yeah. In my opinion, the design of Emirates is, oh God, we're getting into architecture at this point. Okay. The crowd sits a bit far from the field as compared to Highbury needs to do something about it.
I mean,
Well, the whole.
comparatively, the away fans also sit way too close in
Yes, yes,
argument
that
to
is true.
whatever people say.
Mm.
That is
I, I mean,
yeah.
from what I read from Arsene Wenger's book is that I mean, the crowd was like too close to the pitch. That is why they had to like come up with a new stadium or at least renovate Highbury, but they didn't have enough land to renovate Highbury. Hence, why they went and bought another land and developed a new stadium. And also for the fact that when we're playing European games, they need to have a uh, set of regulations that they need to qualify for, which Highbury wasn't. Right. So I really don't think this argument kind of works there. Uh,
Yeah.
all in all, it was typical semifinal retrospective bias will tell you PSG dominated, but reality is both teams played like they are the top. Fair. I think 0-0 would have been fair because the kind of saves that Donnarumma put in were like the more Donnarumma at England kind of saves. And Arsenal and PSG has not conceded and has not done enough to like score goals. I know they had like two solid and one solid chance. That was Desiree Doué's chance, which was stopped by Raya.
Saved by Raya.
Apart from that, I don't even remember any clear-cut chance that they had and they didn't score. I mean,
Ramos should have, yeah, Ramos
Ramos
should
in the end, yeah. Ramos in the end, yeah. Uh, Arun, Lucia and Arteta had the same philosophy with.
No, I
Uh,
think he meant Luis Enrique. So what I told about the
Oh,
tactics, I
yeah.
think, because
uh,
yeah, I mean, you can say that like when you see from an outside thing, okay, it has some similarity, but I don't think. But Luis Enrique has made some tweaks. Definitely, you can see that. That's the whole reason it worked in the first 20 minutes. But then we adapted. Definitely, we adapted in the second half and the first half. But as I said, our finishing touch was not good enough to match them. So
that PSG, right, kind of reminded me of an Arsenal 22-23 season with a better defense in them. Because
yeah,
they would just attack, they just press, they found gaps in midfield of offense. It was just beautiful to watch. But yeah, it is what it is. In Paris, I would like to see Arsenal play a counter-attacking football with Rice making late runs. We missed his late runs into the box, and I would like to see a bit more overlap by the left backs too. Huh.
Okay,
I
fair
think
enough.
this would be possible if Partey is there on the pitch. Yesterday it wasn't
If
the case.
Rice manages to play box to box, you can imagine all types of late runs into the box, all types of
Hmm.
target man runs, and especially the press gets better.
The
Having
press.
Declan Rice pressing is a big, big, yeah.
And also the
Hmm.
when with Partey we have always Partey always opens a channel that none of our players can. None of our players can do a that body shifting, which opens a channel.
Half term.
So he has only Partey has that in our team, I believe. Hopefully Zubimendi next season. I have never seen him play fully, so I don't know how Zubimendi plays. But can he replicate what Partey does? I don't know. But let's see. Hopefully.
Uh, Arteta needs more game changers. Centre forward shouldn't be the priority. The reason why I keep reaching a cheaper guaranteed hit in Watkins. Fair. Bringing Xavi Simons and Barcola or Nico Williams with Watkins and or young centre forward. Vamsi, where can we begin? Like, do we talk about the fact that the board didn't want to sanction and didn't want to put in any money on a striker, or do we talk about like how Arsenal knew that Ed was going to leave, so they're going to wait for sporting director to come in and then invest in a striker? Like, we can definitely talk about all the possible players that we can get in. We talk about this every stream. We will definitely have a stream again after the end of the season before the window opens on what Arsenal could target or how Arsenal could improve. So let's just leave the comments for end of season. I believe even Havertz would hit high numbers with a better creator than number 8. Uh, ah,
Don't know
okay.
about that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Opening 20 minutes, we couldn't adapt to Dembele. True. Rumors saying he suffered from a hammy. If we are more brave next leg, we will win. Uh,
Well, rumors do say he's hit his hamstring, but Luis Enrique says he's fine.
Yeah.
Dembele himself says he's fine to play the next game. So believe whom you have to.
Sanchit, we certainly did not deserve to win yesterday. Okay, okay. All this talk of us dominating them in stages is irrelevant because we certainly aren't dominating them in Paris and we're a goal down. Okay. Okay, would you say that PSG deserved to win that game because of one-off kind of goal? Is that what you're trying to say? Like, because, see, I get it if you say that it deserved to be a draw in terms of like a 2-2 or a 1-1 kind of draw. I get it, but saying that Arsenal deserved to lose is not. It's definitely not right.
I agree.
I,
I agree.
I don't think it was like a sure shot that oh shit PSG are the clear cut winner. They did everything to win and then we did everything to win. It wasn't like that. Brothers, understand and remember each UCL semi-final and final you have watched, 9 out of 10 are decided by individual brilliance. Those chances we had were those, and Donnarumma had them. Saka needs to step.
Yes.
What can Saka do when he's got nobody to support him? The chances he creates them, out of nothing. And he creates them on his own. There's no support for him. And if we are to say about support, Martinelli gets a lot of support every game. It is Martinelli who has the majority of chances. It is Trossard who was given a free run yesterday. He wasn't
Mm,
taking those chances. If
mm,
anything, Saka is doing what he needs to do.
mm.
Yeah.
And there were even picture evidences like there were like what 5 to 6 people stopping Saka. Not
Yes.
not
Yep.
not just not just against PSG. Even if you looked, if you even if you saw the Madrid game, there were like close to like 5 people on Saka to make sure that he doesn't get the ball, or when he gets the ball, he's not allowed to do much, right? So it's just to say that
All
Saka needs to step. Yeah,
I
go on,
just I
Arun.
just thought all the time whenever Odegaard got the ball, Odegaard could not lay the pass or break the lines because they were so compact in that situation. They just wanted to make sure that Saka did not get the ball from Odegaard, which is our most dangerous balls. So yeah, so that is credit to PSG's defense, I would say more than.
I agree.
Statistically, if you go to see yesterday, Odegaard completed 1 out of 5 dribbles, had one chance created, and his goal probability was the least in all of our squad. David Raya
Mm.
had a more goal probability than Odegaard. Saliba had a more goal probability. Kivior had a more goal probability. This is
Yeah.
someone who's playing in the final third, by the way.
It was. See,
Are we going to have a discussion about Odegaard versus PSG specifically?
yeah, yeah,
No,
definitely.
we
I
can
mean,
just include it in this.
we can definitely talk about it. And see, the whole point of this stream is to understand and to critically understand how bad or how poor we were to make sure that we understand on what changes could have been done uh, for the second leg and where we could improve, right? So, yeah, if you want to talk about like Odegaard versus PSG, I'm all for it. But if you were going to talk about Odegaard as a whole in this season, I don't think that conversation was to happen right
Yeah,
now.
I agree.
We can wait. We can wait for it like uh, end of end of
Season.
season, end of season. Sanchit, I disagree. Nelly chance was more clear-cut than Dembele goal. True. Trossard missed one. Whenever passed it in the 90th minute instead of shooting with the left foot. We scored against Madrid, but not against. We scored against Madrid, but
We
not
scored against Real Madrid, but not against Real Madrid. What?
what? We scored. But the last point he said, right? Whenever passing it in the 90th minute, that was
Yeah.
his zone. That is his zone. That bro scored against Girona in that zone. He scored many goals. Had he scored
He
that, just
he looked for
yeah,
a better pass
Yeah,
and a
yeah.
better
uh,
I think
opportunity.
I could not make him fault for that because he
Yeah.
was closing. There were people closing him down, and Martinelli just blasted it.
uh,
Sixer.
just to like give a little context, I'm a big supporter of Martinelli. Aarush is a big supporter of Martinelli, but we are open to having a conversation regarding his flaws as well. So in case you feel that these guys might get hurt because of how bad Martinelli has been in the last game or like this season overall, we definitely open that conversation. Don't feel bad about bringing up such points because yeah, I was aware of that. Some people didn't want to bring it up so that they don't hurt us, but yes, we're open to having conversation. That's what communication is all about. Yeah.
How
Uh,
would Martinelli perform in that PSG left wing though?
Uh,
cool.
Well, if
he
he's
still
afforded the space,
he
he's the
still
best
won't do
player. So
anything. He still he still won't do anything. He doesn't have that level of tech to play at the highest level at on the left wing. He just doesn't.
I think not for a PSG side, but for any other side, at least I'd say a Liverpool side. I think this guy does have it for the space that he'd be afforded.
Just to run,
Mm.
fair enough. But when it comes to dribbling, I don't feel
Dribbling,
that
dribbling, he doesn't
he's
have
good
it anymore.
enough.
But I don't think his shooting technique was majorly at fault versus PSG. Apart from that shot, obviously the sixer that he hit, that you can't say shit because that's you would expect better from a professional footballer in terms of getting because that's the zone he scored for us. Even against Man City, you can count it
Yeah.
as an own goal or a deflection or whatever, but that is a zone that he has thrived in. And the shot to Donnarumma as well. Many go to only discredit the attackers in that sense, even Trossard. But do you even realize how big of a goalkeeper Donnarumma is
Yeah.
in that situation? That's the most perfect finish you're going to get. Obviously, it's going to be the most obvious finish because wide post is obviously something that any attacker would go for. You can be cheeky, go for the near
Yes.
post, but fair
Yes.
enough.
Nah, that is my exact point. How many times have you seen Martinelli attempt a different kind of finish? Whenever he's in that position, the only kind of finish he tries to bring out is that finish where he opens up his body and tries to go for the left, for the far post. Why do that every time? You become predictable, and this was Martinelli. This is the Martinelli, same Martinelli who didn't used to do it in 22-23, where he had his best season. He used to shoot near post, and he did catch a lot of goalkeepers off guard. Yeah, he did.
Majority of Martinelli's goals in the
A majority,
2022-23 season
yeah,
were on the right hand
but
side of
he's
the pitch.
also scored on the near post, and he needs to try different kind of finishes.
Yeah, he
But
has
Oh,
see,
to do
you're
some.
you're approaching an angle which is like this to you.
Yeah.
How, if you're covering, if a 6'6" goalkeeper is covering the near post and you see the ball just go out for a corner right there,
Oh.
what is a better option than seeing an open goal and not targeting it? I agree, he should have scored it. Any footballer should be scoring that chance. This is a basic shooting drill that you have in training. Any training video we see of a squad, this is the basic drill they have. But again, it is as to because we saw the last 40 shots trend run on Martinelli today on Twitter, and I saw the variances that he had in shooting. They were much better than what it is on chance because these are chances that he's getting one or two per game in comparison to the best wingers having or creating for themselves per game. That is a 3 to 4 clear cut 3 4
Uh,
chances that they have. So I'd want to discredit it because for a fact that Martinelli should be scoring this. But again, why are we having conversations of Martinelli at PSG? I don't know.
Yeah,
yeah,
because of this comment. But
I
Arun,
want
too,
it.
you were able
Yeah,
to say
I
something.
just asked what happens if he was in from the left
Yeah,
wing instead of Cascade.
Uh-huh. Ha
No,
ha ha.
just because I just think that Martinelli has that talent or there is something, some kind of spark in him. It's just that he's just brain fog sometimes in when it comes in that third phase. He doesn't try some kind of dummy. He just it doesn't confuse defenders like Saka does.
yep.
So
I
yeah, I
only
don't
We,
point,
want
is Gabriel Martinelli a bad footballer? No. But is he a bad left winger? He definitely is. Because he cannot triple. If it is the same player who's playing centrally, I can assure you he'll do better
to. Yes.
because that suits him more. Being on the left wing predominantly and being tasked with dribbling past defenders, all he does is he'll take a touch on his left foot and cross it in. He would just do a sideways dribble, pass it to the LCM. He would
Yeah.
just he would just stand there, he would try to put it across with his left foot. It is recurring.
Yep.
Yeah, the most frustrating about thing about him is like every time he tries that outside dribble, like
Yeah.
Yeah,
bro, you're
it's
left fielder, just
stupid.
try inside, go inside. No, he just go outside every time.
And his game intelligence on the left wing is very, very, very poor.
Yeah.
I
From
There were moments yesterday where he was surrounded by just one PSG player, and the second player was just coming in to block him. He ran straight into him. He was on the touchline dribbling. He ran straight into the two defenders.
I think he should have taken
Why?
advantage of Hakimi being on a yellow card as well. The one time he did was in the 85th or something minute when we
Yeah,
won
yeah,
a
yeah.
free kick.
Free kick.
Martinelli
Yeah, that's
comes
just
always good
poor.
against Kyle Walker and Trent most of the
And
time.
that Martinelli was different. He at least used to try something, man. Now
Yeah.
it's just the same drill, rinse and repeat. And for a
I
left
don't know.
winger,
Yeah, I
that's
don't
for
know
a
if
left
it
winger
has
at Arsenal,
to.
you have to be much, 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 much better.
Yeah, I don't know if it has to do something with the tactics or not, but yeah.
uh,
Uh,
and the counter argument is that when Xhaka was there, Xhaka used to go more into the left
it's all nonsense, man.
when
It's all
Martinelli comes more
nonsense.
centrally and
No, 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 no.
uh,
It still happens.
hmm.
It still happens to this day. It's just that people override Xhaka to an extent where they feel that Xhaka brought the best out of Martinelli. It was Martinelli actually who was performing very well that season, and he was being afforded the space that he was being afforded. Yeah,
Well, not only Xhaka, and it was also Gabriel Jesus who would actually interchange
hundred
and
Yes.
percent. I
make
agree.
those
Yeah,
movements. So
I
it's
agree.
everything is playing an effect, and his form has been just appalling for the last
Just
2 seasons now.
We'll try to quick run because we have a lot to talk about. I'm just
yeah.
realizing that there's so many comments as well. Parth, watch how Saka and Def got it into each other's path. It was start of the game, and we were a team known for tracking back in seconds, and we didn't do that. Arteta was so angry. Oh, is it?
I don't recollect an instance like this.
Okay, I don't remember. Brother Saka turned up big. He did. He genuinely did. Sanchit, I can't understand how people think we deserve. I can't understand how people think we deserve to win. That penalty was a 50-50. Ramos crossed, but was a debatable offside. A draw would have been, so, huh, fair, fair.
100%. 100%.
True, true, true. Doesn't that make it more criminal, Aarush? By the way, Bollywood, bro, you haven't watched Arsenal, I guess. Uh, doesn't make it more criminal. Not sure regarding what,
What
bro.
part? Yeah.
Damn it. Yeah. Arun, it's about game changes. PSG didn't have them last game. When we get them in the summer, we will be better.
100%. I agree.
Mhm. Arteta expected it. The team's inexperience was the key. We weren't ready. Now we, like Arteta said, we corrected it post 20 else it would have gotten ugly. Like BM first.
What?
BM.
Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, buy me first. Like, yeah. Uh, Bro, I have been watching Arsenal regularly since post-COVID. Saka is a superstar, need to involve in more than an attacking areas. I understand. Arteta, non-negotiable. Yeah, fair enough. Salah
Uh,
said not stop his defensive duties and look at his numbers. Now imagine Saka with his freedom. Wow. Okay.
uh,
Mr. Sarwin, welcome back. We considered that kind of goal against Brentford at Emirates 3 weeks ago.
Emblem, I guess. Emblem scored that kind of
He
line
did?
off the post. So I
Oh,
think
the near post finish and
yeah,
then
the near
bounced
post
back
off the
there.
post finish.
But it was off the left
yeah,
foot,
yeah,
I
yeah,
think.
yeah, yeah.
Uh, Man marking error. Huh.
100%.
Uh, Odegaard off the ball was very good. On the ball, not that good, but I think he will improve. Odegaard.
Exactly, bro. We're just questioning his final ball at the end of the day.
I
Hmm.
We just
agree.
want consistency.
But see, if Odegaard was not a central creator, I wouldn't have any issues in him dictating the press. But when you're tasked with the responsibility of getting the team forward, providing those through balls, and taking shots off, if you don't do any of that, you
Hmm.
cannot compensate by saying that he is great at dictating the press and leading the line for us, because that
Hmm.
is not
Hmm.
how things work. You can't be very good at one thing and be abysmal at the only thing you should be good at.
Ah, yeah, yeah. I did not hear a single Arsenal fan talk about nerves and experience before the game. Maybe Arsenal fans need to consider that rather than being overconfident. Uh, I guess.
Nerves and inexperience between
I
whom?
don't
The
I don't know
players?
who's overconfident. I haven't seen anyone overconfident.
Yeah.
It was just
Hmm.
confidence. It was
Hmm,
just confidence.
no, I think there were people. I think there were people are overconfident. I would genuinely think there were people are overconfident. See,
Because
all of us were like very crazy
I
and.
I genuinely didn't feel that PSG outplayed us yesterday. For the first
Hmm,
20 minutes, yes,
And
definitely. But
hmm,
over the remaining course of the game, it was evenly poised, and I would even argue that we were the better team.
hmm,
100%.
and I don't see a reason to actually credit PSG and also expect a good game from them when you're in the semifinals of the Champions
I
League
agree.
and you're facing one of the top five best clubs in the world. I
hmm,
don't think there's a reason to even say that we were bad. It's
hmm,
fair enough to say that, and because we adapted well, because the lead is only 1-0, that is why we also have the hope currently, right?
Yeah,
hmm,
And that is fair to our side of going into the game, even though we were playing at home.
hmm.
I agree.
Let's see.
Uh, Part, maybe once season concludes, I would like to debate with you about Odegaard Bruno. Even if we have Bruno in the squad, I would still have Odegaard. Ah, that is what
This is exactly
we,
what we've been
we've,
saying for so long.
we've said this. See, having Odegaard and Bruno is good, but having Bruno over Odegaard isn't going to work for Arsenal. We
So
said this.
if we have Bruno and Odegaard in the same team, then Rice won't play. If we have Bruno and Odegaard in the same team, Zubimendi won't play. So
Hmm.
what you're talking makes no sense. So
Yes.
yeah,
Fair enough. Fair enough. We'll take you one last question before we talk about a lot of things regarding Arsenal. Arteta mentioned post-match that difference is cohesiveness due to injury. Have been regularly maintained on this channel. We missed Havertz big time. Yesterday,
I
Marino should
agree.
have played. Yeah,
I agree.
completely agree. Completely agree.
With MLS midfield,
A lot of
hindsight
people,
hindsight is a very good thing.
a lot of people are telling about this MLS midfield. I mean, how can you experiment that on at the semi-final? The boy has
I
been playing exceptionally well in the left back
Mm,
I
mm,
for
agree.
from he like he played against Real Madrid and dominated and in at left back, and I don't know, like it just doesn't make sense for me to play him suddenly playing him in the midfield is like it does not make sense for me.
It's
He
very
actually
easy
plays
to
in the
say that he
midfield.
can play in midfield directly on paper, but then when you see the paper that PSG would put up with the wingers that they have, and your option to play left back is Zinchenko defensively, or you'd say that you'd want to move Timber on the left, bring in
Yeah.
post-injured White at right back. I don't see a debate as to it's just making us worse than what we were currently.
It works
100%.
in FIFA though. It works in FIFA. We can try that.
Exactly.
Exactly. Exactly.
See,
Exactly.
me and Aarush were having this conversation off camera. It was that if Fury was available for us, then I think MLS being experimented in the midfield would have been possible because if Fury darted in with his usual runs, MLS would slot
But
into the left back position and still be like decent.
I still feel that if that were to be the case, it would have been Ala Fury starting as the left centre back, not at left back.
Fair
Okay.
enough, but yeah,
Uh-huh.
true.
Hmm. Fair enough. That I think that makes a lot more sense.
See,
Uh, hmm,
one player
hmm,
who I
hmm,
feel could have had a massive influence yesterday
hmm,
was Jorginho. Had he been fit, I would have 100%. Huh.
hmm.
I would
Uh,
have had Jorginho as
hmm,
the CDM, Rice
hmm,
as the LCM,
Yeah,
and Merino up top.
we said it yesterday in the reaction stream as well that what a Jorginho
Yeah.
could also do and
hmm,
have a Merino type of target man
hmm,
in center forward would have
hmm,
just made it better for us when we
100%.
had more of the ball. And at least Odegaard could have tried
hmm,
something different,
hmm,
at least in terms of positioning
hmm.
for the goal. Yeah.
That's true. I know I'm aware that Arun Bro needs to leave. So I'll ask you one last question. Uh, a lot of things have not gone in Arsenal's favor in the PSG game only. Season-wise, a lot of things are not going in our favor, right? I will definitely try and collab post season. We can talk about what had happened. But regarding the PSG game, any specific thing that you want to like highlight about, and then it give us something for us to like talk about one video. Any specific point that you want to talk about that could be
Uh,
the difference for the second leg?
so the one thing that I wanted to talk was like the two chances, the clear two chances we got were from
Mm,
one from MLS and one from Declan Rice. What the difference was, these two carried the ball from the other box to the attack. We
mm,
did not have we didn't have any other carrying face in the game in total.
Yeah.
So the
mm,
two times we carried the players carried the ball from front, we got a gap and we got a chance. So that's something that I noticed from yesterday's game. Like if we don't do that more, we won't get any more. We won't get chances. I understand the passing side to side, all these position plays good. You can control games using that. I'm not against it, but when you are a goal down and at home, you should be your players should be a bit more brave. So that was the problem with this midfield. I think there's a issue with the Merino Declan Rice Odegaard midfield was that Merino doesn't look like a carrier. He doesn't is a he looks like a bit more controller.
Pass
So
forward. Yeah.
Odegaard should have dominated user. He should have carried more. But what you see was Declan Rice carrying the ball from the sixth position. That was actually very disappointing in a way because Declan Rice should be a six. He should be a destroyer. But yeah, I can't say. I don't want to say too much bad about Odegaard because one of my favorite players for a couple of seasons, and seeing his drop is a really hard one to take. So I just hope he comes back next season because every player goes through one season of thing, and if he's a world class player, I'm pretty sure he's gonna come back next season. So yeah, that's the difference I saw from yesterday's match.
You didn't mention about carrying, right? I think there was like a solid 10-minute phase where Kivior was carrying the ball,
I
where
believe I was
Saliba was.
a bit apart from Odegaard.
Yeah, yeah. Exactly. Though Tibber was making right wing runs. He was making the right wing runs. At one point, I'm like, everyone except the midfield is making all those carrying runs. And I'm like,
Yes.
where is the stability gone? And where is the midfield that needs to be doing the work of attackers? Why is our defenders doing the attacker job? Yeah, it was just, it was genuinely sad. But yeah, we can definitely have this conversation for like long, long time. I don't want to take too much of your time anymore, Arun bro. Thank you so much for coming on. Anything that you want to say in the end before you leave?
Yeah, thank you so much, guys, for inviting me to the. I really love the conversation because I just I am a pretty busy at the moment. That's the only thing I'm leaving this, or else I would have stayed here for the whole session because I really love
Mm.
talking to you guys and it's really interesting. You just don't run out of topics with Arsenal. You
Oh
always
yeah,
have something with Arsenal. So
true,
I'm
true.
pretty sure we'll have a conversation again, and
Mm.
some of you guys can come to our channel as well. And
Okay.
we will have a
For
great
sure.
discussion over there. Maybe get
Mm.
some audience from the south as well. To for
Uh-huh.
your for boost, and we get some of your audiences as well. It's a mutual, it's a
True, true.
mutual thing.
Definitely,
So
definitely, bro.
yeah, really enjoyed the conversation. Yes,
All right then. Thank you so much for coming on, and I will definitely see you very soon on the channel.
yes, absolutely. Thank you,
See
guys.
you.
Cheers. Bye.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you for coming.
Thank you. Okay. Well, that leaves us three. Not really. I thought so. This guy had actually reached out to me a while back, but the fact that we had a possible collaboration with another YouTuber made sure that not made sure like kind of pushed him to a little bit later time, and thank God he had the patience to stay with us.
Exactly.
Nadeem, welcome back to the channel. How are you?
Well,
Hi, how are you?
Hello.
Uh,
Hello.
uh,
Good, good.
you guys look somewhat calm. So, what was going on here? I think yesterday was more about the ranting and venting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yesterday's stream was we know like
it
if
is
we didn't have
content.
if we didn't have yesterday's stream today would have been like completely
And
out of
I heard you guys. I heard you guys, and I was
uh,
like, there's no way I would have been so level-headed after the game. I had a nice 1.5 hour long session with Sanchit, man. We've ranted, we've abused every single player, every single player.
fair enough. But again, we're quicker on the comments. There are so many comments to go through. My God, we will definitely come to the player analysis that we want to do. But thank you so much for all the comments. That is what we're trying to do: build a community for all the people out there. Uh, okay, where were we? I did not hear. No, no. Yeah, talk about the T4 design. How the hell is that? We spoke about the T4 design. I think we had like a solid 15-minute conversation regarding the T4s. So do watch that if you want. Basically, we think that it was just some corporate shit. It didn't look anything
Yeah,
or
and it
something
was pretty
fancy with
pretty
design.
last minute, man. It was pretty last minute. So yeah.
Exactly. Hey Arun, do you have any idea why the bio system is affecting the fans? What this? Okay, I should have brought this up when he was still there.
Yeah.
God damn it. Now I understand why we need Zubimendi. By the way, number 8 is still suffering from PTSD after his injury. He had a super high
Yeah.
rising
Yeah.
shot in his left foot until last season, and this season
I
he
agree.
hasn't. I
I
didn't.
agree. I mean,
Ooh,
he used to take shots that were that were hit powerfully and had some elevation on them, but now he's not even attempting those shots. And if he's attempting them, they're all grounded and they reek in power. So yeah,
wait, who is he talking about? Odegaard? No.
Odegaard.
Yeah.
Odegaard was yeah. Anam and Saka will be stopped like Andre, like every top player. I agree, Odegaard isn't doing well, but what I mean by stepping up is going up like any world class player does. He's a superstar. He almost did something yesterday. It's just that we didn't have the players around him to like execute
I
all
think
He's
the.
still
arguably across the two sides having six players in attack, Saka was in the top
the
two then.
most effective. Yeah,
Mhm.
Yep.
because again, Desiree Doué, Kvaratskhelia, and Dembele have the tech, but they don't have the effectiveness when it comes to goal scoring. They create a lot of chances but don't score often. Whenever Saka's on the ball, you always
mm,
feel like he'll do something that will create a goal, and that is why I rate Saka much more higher than all the wingers that there are. So yeah.
mm. What did Martinelli do bad yesterday? It was a world-class save from Donnarumma. Stop with the bias part, else I will have received one. Eh,
One.
One match.
okay, okay, fair enough. See, I agree it was a world-class save. The criticism is the fact that it kind of became too obvious on what he's going to do.
Yeah,
Some time back we had this conversation regarding him not trying to have a different finish, right? I think one finish that he could sort of unlock is the Mbappe signature finish, where he
I
finishes.
was about to say this. I
But
was
that is
about to
not the
say this, but
angle.
I
That
didn't
is
want
not
to
the
sound
angle.
too harsh on him. Where he's aiming for the far post and he goes
Mm.
near post.
But
But
That
that
but
is
finish.
not the angle. He didn't have a player
ex-
blocking him to
ex-
play the Mbappe role, right?
Ha,
exactly.
I
See,
get it.
see, now, I didn't want to stop your flow part, but like how Aru said, that was not the angle because from that angle, had he gone, had he gone near post, people would have probably bombed his house in Brazil and in London.
Exactly.
Right. I'm
Fair enough.
200% sure of
Yeah.
that.
Fair enough.
Yesterday that was the only finish
And
available for
also
him.
for a fact that in terms of 1v1 finishing, we have to have conversations about Trossard's finish because that dude has run
Mm,
a mile and then
mm,
he ends up deciding to take the final shot with his left foot when his right foot is his favorite foot.
I And this is not something that's happening for the first time. Go
mm,
and look at Trossard's latest goals. I mean, the last 5 or 6 goals,
Yeah,
whatever,
yeah, yeah.
however many he scored. It's
mm.
always that guy is an idiot. That guy does not use his right foot. He always
I think he
prefers to go
scored
on his
like
left
this
foot with
versus
all those
Ipswich as well.
finishes. All
Versus
Mm,
Ipswich
it
as
was
well.
against Everton. It was against Ipswich. It was against Spurs. It was against PSG. Same finish. Same
that,
finish.
that's what like, we had this conversation even like last week. We said the same thing. Trossard, he's having a bad game, but at least when he scores, people are like, okay, fine, at least he's scoring. And yesterday he didn't do that as well. And it was clearly, yeah.
It's
And if
either you have
anything,
the worst game with him or you have the best game with him. There's
best
no
game
in
winner,
between.
there's no in between.
Mm-hmm. Nadeem, anything to like say something that will calm us three down because
Yeah, in terms of the finishing, I think Donnarumma's game was on top. He was world class on both
Mhm.
occasions. Trossard taking onto his left foot is something he does. He scored like that against Alisson last season to seal the game for us when we were in the title race. You remember? It was very similar chance. He
Yeah,
had lots of space to run into.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't know. I think his shot was pretty much in the bottom corner. That was an incredible save. For the Martinelli one, I think one thing he could have maybe done better is he gave it a little bit of air. Maybe that made it easier for Donnarumma to reach. It was not like the, what do we say, the Thierry Henry type of finish where it just rolls along the ground. Yeah, but these are fine margins. I don't know if we can focus on that too much. But yeah, what we do now is if we get into similar positions in the second leg, we'll have to try and take Donnarumma out of the game with an extra pass, or maybe hit it hard and low pass him or something like that. It won't
Mhm.
work. Standard finish won't work. That's what we learned.
Mhm.
mind you, Gianluigi Donnarumma is not a very good goalkeeper. He is not. He makes those saves, but he's got a lot
Yeah,
of errors in him. He's got a lot
Mhm.
of errors in him, and we didn't try
Mhm.
and exploit it once.
yeah,
Mhm.
that's true.
Uh, we all know Parth's bias against Martinelli. Parth was silent in last some games.
We
Now
read
he
it, we
has.
read it, we read it.
Okay. No, this is something else. This is some other comment. But who's Kalakar? I mean, which name are you coming? Who are you actually?
I actually want to know who that is.
This
Martinelli
Kalakar.
Vishaka was, oh God,
He was very good.
that was such
See,
a bad game.
I pointed
Gifran,
this out.
Grieve.
I think he needs sort of LCM,
Move
probably.
fast, move fast, move fast.
Nah, I'll defend Parche. Martinelli is bad 1v1 dribbler. His finishing hasn't improved since he was a kid. On scale of Quara, Garnacho,
100%.
Mate, oh God, oh God.
100%.
I
Obvious.
mean, yeah,
100%.
Timur is the
I
better
agree.
one.
I actually agree with this. I actually agree with this statement.
Yeah, okay, okay. Sanchi, okay. Me or like actual
Sucheet,
Sanchez?
Sucheet.
I do not know. These are all overreactions. By the way, take comments faster else the context is good. Criminal part about PSG was well-known tactics still be allowed. Huh.
Huh.
Yes, yes. I'm trying my
Fair
best.
enough.
Sorry.
Fair enough.
Uh,
Fair
uh,
enough.
for that, Gary bro, how are you? Welcome to the stream. This bro was there yesterday as well. At freaking
And he was still putting up statistics and quotes and on a late night 4 a.m. stream, bro.
at 3 a.m. when Arsenal lost, this bro was there. But where was he when Madrid lost? Where was he? Vivek, welcome, Vivek sir. How are you? The thing
Oh,
that has been
thanks.
happening is that our own Van Dijk has been doing great. Hello, guys. I'm a bit late, but I know what would have happened. Parth, what happened? What happened?
I haven't done this. I have bashed Odegaard as well.
Yeah, see, he did the first part. He didn't do the second part. He bashed Odegaard as well. And jokes apart, loved the
Uh-huh.
match. Of course.
And this guy, he
Bro,
was
I'm seeing
yesterday
this
on
guy on
Vivek's live
every
stream.
channel with a Hanji,
Yep,
bro.
and he's putting the
Every
same
channel.
message.
Uh,
Fair play, bro. We know you want to get the credits, but enjoy the win, bro.
Stop
16
making
years
it.
of long, 16 years of long absence and a young and injury-stricken team competed toe-to-toe with the best footballing team
Motivation.
who played traveling champions out of the park in 2 games. Yeah, I gave up the Premier League race. I mean,
Uh,
if you
Oh
still
my
kept
God,
the
he
Premier
finally
League,
did.
there's always another way of looking at the glass. It's half full. It's not half empty.
Array is Vivek by the Desi star.
What?
Okay.
Which Vivek,
Trust,
but
and I think he meant Dr. Vivek.
Yeah.
Yeah, Trossard should not play anymore more than 60 minutes. This guy, if he's exhausted, will start fouling and losing ball, lose concentration as well. Yeah, we
I
agree
think
he's the
we
bench.
should
He's the
bring in
bench player.
Sterling for that unpredictable nature because we can't predict anything. PSG
Yeah,
also can't predict anything. We also
yeah.
can't predict anything. No one predicts anything. It's just a game in the on a football pitch, bro.
At this
Raheem,
point, I don't know. I
Raheem
don't know
the
whether
dream.
we can finish second in the league. We have Bournemouth, Liverpool, and oh god, oh wow.
Wow, that's a
Uh,
nice list.
see, the Bournemouth game. I'm just seeing if Calafiori is going to make bench. I'm going to see if Kai Havertz can make bench. That is all I'm going to give it
Nah,
to
nah,
them, but
nah, nah,
nothing
he
else.
won't.
I have it on make the bench, bro.
Havertz won't make the bench. And
You never know.
Fury, man, I can't with that guy. Moving on. Moving on.
PSG was a Liverpool, both teams, goalkeeper and defenders were the heroes. So many chances, but these guys kept them out. Yes. Guys, how about this LCM and RCM flip? More of a creator next to Nelly and Granit. He disturbs shape of back for Saka to exploit.
Good idea, but
Good shot.
Arsenal are
Good shot.
an RHS progressional
Mhm.
side,
Mm.
so I don't see this move.
We've been begging for it.
Nah,
We've been begging.
but I do feel that the RHS bias at Arsenal is slowly dying down. I
Yeah,
really
yeah,
do feel that
for
Mhm.
sure.
because
But I
yesterday,
think it's a different dynamic when Rice plays as a six. At least not in this game, I agree, because possession was a bit fluffed. But in games where otherwise Rice plays as a six from the
Mhm.
RHS, he has very good passages of play and progression
Yes.
in terms of passing
I'll make
angles.
a counterpoint to it.
Mhm.
When Rice moves to the RHS, he actually moved to the RHS even yesterday. He was shuttling in the second half, not in the first half. In the second half, I still feel that his natural tendency is to make a pass to the left hand side. I do feel that that is the case. There's a
Oh,
natural tendency of playing in Trossard or Martinelli, whoever that is.
Hmm.
He does do that
hmm.
Makes
often.
sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
Guys, okay, no, this one. I see all of Kalakar's comment turn into Vivek Singh. Is Vivek by attacking Parth with different account? अरे
If
नहीं
he
संचित
would
भाई
attack.
पार्थ को तो इसी अकाउंट से रगड़ दूंगा
रगड़
दूसरे
दूंगा
पे
अरे what is this रगड़ना वगड़ना क्यों है भाई
okay I thought my pronunciation was wrong okay रगड़ दूंगा दूसरी की क्या जरूरत है जरूरत पहले रही
So,
था कोई और अब कलाकार oh yeah oh yeah there was another Vivek with there was another oh
yeah.
god lol I don't support PSG I'm happy I'm happy for Luis Enrique. He
Yeah.
was going through
Great.
very difficult time in his personal life. Fair.
Said,
No, I don't think he lost I don't think he disrespected anywhere.
it's been quite some time, but yeah, whatever.
Mm-hmm. Saka, as, as a creative genius, he does get mugged. Maybe Rice runs into a box, pick, will be picked up more. And if defensive work rate allows Saka to rest a little, through balls to Nelly or new left wing. Hmm.
Fair
How will
enough.
this
I
press?
hear it.
Okay.
Exactly. It's
Okay.
we just take into consideration a single part of the whole
Out of
conversation,
position,
right?
this doesn't work at all.
Yeah,
Mhm. Okay, we have taken all comments. Okay, the game. Oh, this was the shit that was put up yesterday. This was the shit that was put up yesterday. Ah, do you guys want to pick a?
Masterpiece.
Yeah. Okay, we'll start with Nadeem. Nadeem, any specific player that you
Yeah.
want to pick up here? Any specific player that you want to pick out here and talk about? Because we can talk about any Arsenal player at length. We can talk about how a PSG player at any length, right? So we start with Nadeem. Who do you want to talk about?
First name that came to mind is Timber.
Hmm.
I don't think he's shy of the big occasion, but I do think his game itself was a bit overexcited in the first 25 minutes where we were losing control.
Hmm.
I don't know what else I expected from him. Maybe it was him getting exposed tactically, but yeah, I think he contributed unfortunately to us not being able to calm down. And I think he
Hmm.
was lucky to escape the yellow card for
100%.
fouling the same player 3, 4 times. Yeah, yeah, he settled into the game. He definitely came into the game, but yeah, because it was at the beginning of the game, I think yeah, that's one thing where we lost a bit of control.
Completely agree.
And also for a fact that uh, should we be lucky that Timber didn't get red carded yesterday because the amount of fouls he kept
Yeah, 100%.
putting it
He
for
should
his
have been
career?
he should have been booked in the first 10 minutes of the game. He
Yeah,
committed
Ah,
it's
six
because it was early
fouls.
in the game. Mm.
He committed
mm-hmm.
six fouls back to back to back to back to back.
But Kawara
Mm,
also took very good advantage of this. You
Yeah,
mm,
can see the
Yeah.
way Timber wanted to win the ball. He won the ball in many occasions, but
that one. Yeah,
Kvaratskhelia, even when he faked the injury down, he used to fake it with the wrong leg, which just didn't make sense. And it is what attackers do at the end of the day to win fouls. So fair enough. Timber could have had a bad day in the office.
the way Kvaratskhelia was using his body to attract fouls was very good. Even if Timber won the ball, he would have had to go through Kvaratskhelia to win it, which would evidently be called a foul. So it was smart play from Kvara.
right. Okay. Next, Aarush, any play that you want to pick out and talk about?
From the Arsenal team, I'd like to pick out David Raya because I
Oh,
think
oh,
David
nice.
Raya
Okay.
was class yesterday.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Many said that his passing wasn't at point, but in my perspective, his passing was top class yesterday. And we actually didn't benefit from a Merino midfield because if Merino played as a target man and Rice was also ahead there, we could have done a lot more physically
100% agree.
through Raya's passes.
Yes.
Yeah,
Raya
I think.
actually,
Sorry. Yeah.
yeah, continue, continue.
Yeah, I think it's not just about the duels itself. Trossard and Raya were not on the same page like Merino would have been. Like when
Yeah.
you
yeah,
so when the passes go into those spaces, like Trossard was on a whole different lane. He was running down the wrong lane and things like that.
Also,
agree.
I think as we got into the game post the 20th minute, what Arteta also wanted to do was dominate more control through Raya's positioning. And that was when he came as a center back, and I tweeted this as well. And I think from there, the wider zones that we found through Saka was very key. He tried weak foot passes straight to Martinelli, which also worked, but we
Yeah,
couldn't substantially make anything from the left hand side solely because that's not our base of attack, at least when Merino was in midfield from there. And I think Raya didn't have many saves to make, but what he did defensively from a goalkeeper's perspective was fair enough to him. Hence, he is one of the few players ranked in green also on SofaScore.
Once this could be very, very petty from my side, or to be very critical about it, but there were, I think, two instances where he was the one who took those free kicks to put in the ball, right?
Oh yeah,
I think those are like just overshot. I think he was trying to
yeah,
target
fair
Saka
enough, fair
or
enough.
something. I do not know what happened there,
Yeah,
but
many
they were
cross
just
runs, back
uh,
post.
exactly. So I think that was the only criticism from him. But whatever he said, I completely agree.
I also
Him,
got a
him,
little
him.
soft spot for him post the interview he had with the
Ben
Amazon for
Foster.
Mm,
with Ben Foster,
mm,
because
mm,
the things he mentioned from there in a goalkeeper's perspective,
mm,
especially viewing the game, taking charge as a modern day as a modern day goalkeeper, and then
mm,
also the talks of him being only 6'1", being the shortest keeper, but then how he's taken advantage of it with his movements and his agility, at least in with his
Yeah,
feet, what he moves, how quickly. I think there's no one in world football who moves as quickly as him.
I
And
agree.
that's what Ben Foster also mentioned in that interview. So separate soft spot for him there.
but uh, kind of reminds me of Allison, but with better feet movement. Because
And that's what
Allison not.
Raya said. That's what
Yeah,
Uh,
Raya said. He's like the best
oh,
keeper for me is an Allison.
okay.
100%.
I didn't see that. I didn't see the interview. I just okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. Parth, any player that you want to pick and like go talk about?
Best player to talk about is Thomas Partey. But yeah, I mean, we can have a long discussion because he essentially. I am pretty sure if Thomas Partey started the game yesterday, we would have
Any
won.
player in these 22 players here.
Declan Rice. Declan Rice.
Declan Rice, not Odegaard. I wonder why.
No,
Okay.
Odegaard, we'll have a conversation on it.
Cool, cool. Good.
Declan
But
Rice,
hmm,
if there's anything that we got to know from
hmm,
yesterday's game is that Declan Rice is not a good lone six. I'm not saying he's a bad six. He's a very
hmm,
good six. He's not a very good lone six. Because,
hmm, hmm,
when it comes to Arsenal and how we choose to build from the back, it is
hmm,
based on the DM receiving the ball and starting attacks, which Rice was not able to do because that is not his strongest suit. Because when he's
hmm,
got the ball, it's like he knows that he might mess up, and that is why he tries to go back to Raya, or he
hmm,
would just he shies away from getting the ball, and that is why it was Merino who was dropping deep to receive. It was Saliba who was being more adventurous, and it was Lewis Kelly who was trying to get more involved in the play. Whereas if things were going on perfectly, it would have been Lewis Kelly receiving the ball naturally.
hmm,
But we
hmm,
had to force the issue with him, which was causing us a lot of issues, and
hmm,
he was affecting our build up. But in the second half, again, Declan Rice is one player. Uh, I would sum him up as he thrives when the game is high octane. When the game is low key, he doesn't do that well because he's got an engine and he loves running all over the field. And when
hmm,
he's afforded space, that is where he thrives. And it was in the second half that PSG took a backseat and PSG was not attacking or trying to cut out passing lanes. They were just
hmm,
saying that okay, break us down, and that is
hmm,
where Rice excelled. And the second half, when compared to the first half, it was a completely different story.
hmm, hmm.
Yeah,
Nadeem, thoughts?
Yeah, on Declan Rice, I think mainly it's the fact that the entire team shuffled a couple of steps back without Partey. It comes
Hmm,
down to that. I don't know. Next season with the signing, we'll really get to see what he's like. And Arteta, just like Guardiola, when it comes to slow cooking players, he is one of the best. So given time, I think maybe he can become a world class lone six. I don't know, but at the moment,
hmm,
I do agree that he has his limitations when with ball progression and on the half turn, doing what Luis Kelly does, etc. I don't. Yeah, I think that might play a role against PSG in the
hmm,
second leg as well. But as you know, we will get Partey back for the second leg, so
hmm,
maybe we can turn it into the kind of game that Rice wants. Arteta keeps talking about playing our type of game and making
hmm,
it our type of game. So
hmm.
maybe we can platform him better in the second leg when he's away from that role.
Fair
because
enough.
it wasn't that it
Hmm,
wasn't the case of PSG being very compact out of possession. There were
hmm,
spaces between their front three and the midfield. It was
hmm,
just that we didn't have anyone to go and take that risk. And if there was someone, it was Timber, Saliba, or Lewis Kelly. Lewis Kelly, I
hmm,
agree, it comes to him naturally. But when it comes to William Saliba, no, William Saliba should not be the one darting forward. He should not be the one because there's no one to cover for him.
Mm.
And that is something he was trying again and again and again, and I cannot fault him because we didn't have
Mm.
any other player to do what we had to do. Simple.
Mm. Mm. Aarush, any thoughts on this?
No, I think we've covered it really well.
Cool, cool.
There's nothing
Declan
more to say,
Rice.
bro.
Yeah, I know. Declan Rice, you may
Also,
not
also,
be.
there's
Yeah,
this
go on.
one,
Go on.
there's this one thing I saw in the post-match reviews from the most famous YouTubers, rival supporters,
I
saying
have not
that
watched anything. I can't because I know if I
no, no,
watch
And
this is
um,
not even anything tactical, but this is about
it is
Declan
never
Rice
tactical.
being
It is never ever
invest.
tactical.
Yeah, it's ne
Rival
yeah,
fans are
for
never
a fact
tactical.
it's never tactical, but their point was that Declan Rice had a one-off game versus Real Madrid. He is he is not a six, and he thinks he is Tony Cruz, and
what?
he yeah, okay. So basically, what one of the arguments was
Mm,
that
mm, mm.
basically there was this play in the 85th minute where Declan Rice was waiting to take the free kick, right?
Yeah,
So what their perspective was, he
Mm.
thinks this is the Real Madrid game, and the cameras are panning out on him. So the cameras panning out on a free kick taker is Declan Rice's fault, by the
what?
way. This is his
What?
fault, by the way. Then he pans out to take the shot, it gets blocked and whatever. He's like, he thinks that he can replicate what he did once in his life yet again. This is the
Twice in his life.
perspective. Yeah,
Twice in his life.
twice in his life in one game for
Mm.
a guy who's never scored a free kick. He thinks he can do this again.
Are you sure
Yeah.
these are rival fans? Because it feels like very
Yeah, it is
Arsenal
rival
coded.
fans.
It feels like those fans who preferred Partey over Rice. I think it feels like a very Arsenal coded comment that you said. It doesn't even feel like a rival fan comment at this point.
Bro, I
Yeah.
don't know, man.
Mhm.
And
I
Declan
these are the
Rice.
agree,
same
man.
fans
I
that these
agree.
are the same fans that would actually fall in Arsenal's bandwagon if we actually managed to win this game, by the way. And
Mhm.
their whole perspective of the game would just change like this.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
just saying. I'm just
Yeah.
saying.
Where have you seen this flip-flop behavior before? Arteta out, Arteta out, Arteta in, Arteta in. Yeah, it's fine. Declan Rice, you may not be a very good soul number six, but you're definitely a 10 out of 10. Anyways, moving on. My player would be MLS. I genuinely think MLS has been incredible. First 20 minutes, the next 20 minutes, 90 minutes. He was just
100%.
phenomenal, dude. He was honestly like the kid is built. He's just built different, and I think it just comes with great parenting as well. Because whenever you talk about a kid doing well, you talk about the kind of upbringing that he has, right? And then you speak, then you listen to his mother speak in interviews or give interviews or like the kind of things that she does for the community as well. It's just something, though. Because how are you as an 18-year-old kid who made a senior full debut like only after the Liverpool game, and then
Yeah.
October or
since on
something.
yeah, October, like, yeah, October something, and then you are probably one of the first names to be on the team sheet. Not like in the end, it's like one of the first top five names in to go first in the team sheet. And
Yeah.
yesterday, when the whole team looked like out of place, like nervous for the first 20 minutes, I still felt MLS was the one without any nerves. I thought he just
I
played
agree.
the game as the game. It didn't look like anyone. He didn't fall for the occasion. It was just something, and the way he bodied the shit out of those wingers on the right, it was just something. Yeah, here and there he did lose the ball, but it was not him alone. It like another aspect which I'll talk about the game, which I even mentioned yesterday, which was very funny to see, which happened against Arsenal. We'll talk about it, but it's the fact that he ran into the box. All the carrying stuff that we started seeing started with MLS.
Yeah. Yeah.
As a team, this kind of is good because of the kind of environment that we're letting youngsters to come and express themselves. But where is this from our senior most players? Where is this from our other players as well? Like it was sad and same time very, very joyous to see such a young kid do his thing. But yeah, our
I mean, yeah, I just read Parth's thread just now. Like shout out to his thread as well because I
wait,
did see an insight on this
you are
MLS.
not focusing on the stream. What are you doing?
Yet I have such good opinions. So basically, what Parth also mentioned in his thread was as to how Arsenal were not significant in carrying the ball from Rice, particularly in the start, and then when
Yes.
Merino dropped in, his characteristics also weren't being taken advantage
Yep.
of. Then it was an 18-year-old MLS who was inverting from left back to take the game
Mm,
higher up,
mm,
which is
mm,
huge because this particular game showed it was PSG who had to show us that what ball carriers can do in this game.
Yeah.
And
mm,
that's when we realized that, oh,
mm,
if we have a central route in this game, we do
mm.
have an option to progress. And that's how two of our key chances came through.
Ah,
So
exactly.
Yes, yes.
this lack of ball carriers is something that we need to highlight. We've said it that our sales last season and then what we should have been aiming to sign, what we are supposed to be aiming to sign, all of it revolves around that creative ball carrier
Mm,
stuff like that. And this is coming from the defensive line at this point. So
mm,
it
Exactly.
just tells you how desperate we are in these trades. But
mm, mm,
hoping that Partey's presence in the second leg
mm,
would
mm,
have at least someone at the base so that
mm,
all
Hundred
these
percent.
things in terms of
mm,
Rice and MLS's ball progression would help
mm,
us.
mm.
Yesterday's
It's
game was tailor made for someone like Thomas Partey.
dude,
Tailor made, man.
it's kind of
It was
funny.
so
It's
frustrating.
kind of it's kind of funny like how we are putting Thomas Partey like a striker coming on after an injury. It's like never in a million years would have thought that Arsenal would be in a
Would
situation
would
where
would we have conceded one or two more chances? Definitely yes. But
hmm,
had Partey been there, we would have had three or four more chances easily. Easy.
for sure. Because see, how Aarush said, us carrying the ball from the middle, or like how you're apparently, or even the thread that you put out, even you said, us carrying the ball in the central. That is what we've been missing in the entire play.
Hey,
Like,
Yep.
like, go on again.
yeah, question. I was wondering this as well. Yeah, we at some point we realized that ball carrying will make a big difference in the game.
Mm,
Saliba started doing it. Timber started doing it.
mm,
Do you
mm.
think if Partey was available, and because Partey is available for the next game, do you think after 60, 70 minutes, Arteta will bring on Vaneri earlier because of the fact that Partey is there to
You,
support him?
ooh,
Partey and Rice,
ooh,
because he could have made a big
Yeah,
difference. It was obvious, but he just didn't want to take a
I
Odegaard.
agree. I
superb,
agree.
superb take.
Hundred
Crazy
Because
percent.
perspective.
Yeah.
I didn't think it from that point of view. I was just like, why the hell is Veneri coming in like the late 80s, in the late 80th minute, expecting something? Had you given him like from the
Yeah,
75th minute, probably he would grown into the game and done something. Probably would be more confident to take that shot in the 90th minute.
Yeah.
They had he not just come in the last five. So yeah.
maybe we
Um,
should get our
hmm,
wingers into those areas where they can carry the ball as well from a little deeper. It might be a reminder for Arteta to not just have them on the touchline for too
hmm,
much of the time. We even
I
had
mean,
Sterling
yeah,
who can carry it.
hmm,
one thing many didn't notice or spoke of also is the fact that when Vaneri came in, Saka was the guy who was playing through central zones.
hmm,
Yeah.
And that actually made a big difference in terms of having Saka to carry the ball as a winger from the center and trusting Vaneri from the wider zones, which gives you a big perspective as to how people also classified Odegaard and the Vaneri talk when Odegaard was injured, stuff
hmm,
like
hmm,
that.
hmm.
So stuff is in the
Yeah,
air
it's
Yeah.
currently. It is up for you to grab it, man.
yeah. I still back Odegaard. I just don't. I think this game specifically was made for Vaneri. That's the thing. It's not about the larger discussion on Odegaard. That needs to
Uh-huh.
happen, but that discussion can wait till the summer. I think as a fan base, it's unnecessary negativity right now. But
Hmm.
for this particular game, I would like to see Vaneri not start the game. That won't be the best
Yeah.
idea, but I would like him to come on earlier. I
True,
think.
Hundred
true.
percent.
Makes
You
sense
know,
because for the ball carrying that we've been begging for, or like we've been accelerating at this point, he would definitely brought on. Huh? Fair enough.
We
even
have the
for the
players,
fact
and
that
PSG was a bit confused. Yeah, PSG
yeah,
didn't know how to deal with players that were beating two men at a time.
Exactly.
PSG's defense is not that good, man.
Mm-hmm.
We just didn't exploit them. We just didn't.
Ooh, ooh, we have 15 concurrent views. Thank you so much for all the concurrent views out there. It's been a while since we hit more than 14. The only time we hit more than 10 or more than 12 was when Arsenal lost. That was the accident. So welcome to the stream. Do
Now,
keep liking the streams so
one
that the
yeah,
good.
one last thing on Odegaard. When I watched the
One last
match,
thing.
when I
For
watched the
today.
match, I had some wild thoughts on him. All right, just to put it simply, when I watched that game, I was like, "Get this guy out." Then I gave the
Mm,
match a rewatch, and I was
mm.
like, "Arsenal is not a better team without Odegaard." It's weird. It's very weird.
Yep.
See, that is the counterpoint, right? You remove Odegaard, the structure is gone. But then, like,
He did
how?
very well manipulating our press because it
Mhm,
was all over the
Yeah.
place and he was the one orchestrating it from the first minute. You could see
mhm,
when the play was going through Rice or Merino, he was the one annoyed. He was
mhm,
annoyed when Dembele got into the block, got the ball off, and he just ran. And you could see the frustration in him. He was
mhm,
guiding Trossard on who to press, how to press.
Yeah.
mhm.
It's important.
Yeah. Okay. Before we get into the next thing, 15 concurrent views. Our likes are only at 11. Start liking the stream because we're trying to make sure that this stream is part of the algorithms
Sure.
where it is consumed. Oh my God, Arun. Don't make it obvious. Don't make it obvious. Uh, but yeah, keep liking the stream. Keep subscribing as well. We're trying to hit the 700 subscribers as soon as possible. Maybe by the end of season. Let's just see. But yeah, let's take in few comments. It's been a while. Which was the last comment that we took? People, Ramos, Arteta, man marking it. Oh, it's been a while. Where all is it done? Where is
People,
it?
Ramos, Arteta, man marking. Very good.
Oh, okay. Uh, Vivek, Dr. Vivek says, by the way, it would be cool of us if me and Parth started a beef with Parth or Martinelli. Where is your distract? What? What just happened?
We should
What do you mean?
distracts also.
It's fine. Maybe we could have like a side one thing, so that to bring in more attraction to our ship.
Uh,
Parth versus Martinelli is like that guy
Guy
is
Faz
Faz who can.
who
Oh,
confront Garnacho.
I have no idea.
Skibidi karna
Faz
show.
Faz is that guy, Planet Faz. I don't know.
I still do not know what you're talking about. Okay. Gary. Oh yeah, of course, Gary has.
He's
I
done
know.
it
Let's.
Thuram is
again.
starting. Thuram with
Marcus.
Martinez. Ooh.
I almost
My
forgot that
boy,
there's a
how you
game.
doing, bro?
There's an other
Yes,
I
yes.
season
thought
when there are other teams.
Same. I kind of
Yeah.
forgot. I kind of forgot. Kvaratskhelia tried
Or
to
like,
chip
yeah.
over Raya from distance, but he was alert.
that
I
only
think for a fact that
happens
Oh, yeah, that
once,
is a bad chip
man.
though.
no, that was
Yeah.
a yeah, exactly. It was a bad shot. Maybe that is why I was. Had it been a good chip like Mateta, you never know. And the kind of luck
True.
that Dembele ran, it could have been a goal as well. You never know. Bukayo Saka. No, he didn't say this.
Oh, come on. Come on.
He didn't
Come
say
on.
this. He definitely didn't say this. I see a point now, Sanchit Bhai. Having gone through previous comments, the style is also the same. By the way, beyond Bakshi should be
Yonkesh
What?
Bakshi.
twice. I
Who?
have no.
I've heard this name, but I can't recollect
Arey,
who it
he's a
is.
detective.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
But I still don't get the
Is it
reference.
CID? Because I've never watched CID. I have no idea.
Uh,
A long conversation about Odegaard is needed. He's one who's expected to raise the technical level of our midfield. That MLS through ball was better than dude. I swear that MLS through ball to Martinelli
And it's
was
not
like
even the first
It's
time that he's
perfect.
done it, by the way.
yeah,
Yeah.
It kind of reminded me of Odegaard's pass to Martinelli in the 23-23, yeah,
yeah,
23-24
yeah,
season.
MLS
yeah,
had
Yeah.
an assist like this season itself to a
Yeah.
winger, to Trossard or someone.
Uh.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
Very.
but also had Martinelli scored from that chance, right? I think it was offside because I think his left shoulder was offside, if I'm not wrong.
He wasn't off. He wasn't off. He wasn't off.
Pakka?
The feet was playing him on. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Damn it. I
He
can't
was
even find it.
offside on. He was offside on the chance that Saga
Oh,
created.
Saka,
He
Saka.
crossed
created.
and that
True,
was
Well,
true,
difficult.
true.
I wouldn't say anything about that.
for
True,
once
true.
in a while, Saka reached the left side of the pitch.
Uh. The last time he's been very effective from the left hand side, I remember it was the Newcastle game.
2020, 21, bro.
Something. It
Yeah.
was stupid, yeah. Vardhan. City fan, by the way, and an Inter supporter as well. Honorary Inter supporter. Just realized Barcola did the same bottle in front of goal as Trossard. Wingers these days aren't built like that, man.
Make
Fair, fair.
Arsenal French again.
Make us a French again. Make us a
Uh,
French.
16 concurrent views. Keep liking, keep subscribing. I love you all. Yesterday's Tifo was the best I've never.
Yeah, that embarrassed everyone.
Mm,
Way
where
to
do I
do
begin?
conversations, bro.
There
Oh.
needs to be conversations with the club.
There needs to be conversations.
Yeah, the
Uh,
London fans need to go and talk to them. Make sure that never happens again.
Like how Ratcliffe has these meetings with these fans and all that. Now, I think Berta, I think Arsenal could have something like that. We never know. ये क्या हाल है दया गैरी
हो
भाई
गया
आपका
गैरी भाई आपको क्या हाल हो
हो
गया
गया
भाई?
I have screenshot proof Vivek sir
आज
पार्थ
What
से
the
इतना
hell
डरा
is
हूँ
going on? What the hell is going on?
people have receipts people have screenshots Parth when what are you doing uh, Thomas Partey being ever fit
This
this
season
season
meant
meant Rice
I
number 6. Now that we forced him to play after excelling in number 8, it was shock to the team adapt, especially in big game.
हाँ
And that's what. So
हाँ
it was a new midfield setup. So I get
No,
it, but again,
I agree. I agree.
anything you were saying?
yeah, yeah.
Okay. Should I trademark Sanjay?
Arun, do it, man, do it.
हमारा सीजन तो हो गया अब बस मजा ले रहा हूँ Fairs, fairs.
ले लो भाई.
I know who Aarush is talking about.
YouTuber scene, bro. He knows.
हाँ
समझने
अच्छा
वाले
वो
समझेंगे.
वो
which one?
No, as
नहीं
if I'm
he
going to
said
take name
समझने
out here,
वाले
bro. You are
समझेंगे.
getting dished here. I said
No, I didn't
समझने
get.
वाले समझे.
Oh, regarding your point regarding other
Yeah.
YouTubers, okay, fair enough. I'm assuming,
I I
yeah.
knew it would be supremely toxic. So the only two creators I followed after this game, one was Chonky and the other one was Talk Football. Yeah,
Hmm.
that was it.
Surprisingly, I didn't watch either of them.
I knew that they weren't pure rubbish, so yeah, I just gave them a watch.
No, I wanted the perspective from the best, the very best, not so tactical ones.
Ugarte is a better DM than Rice, man. I
Here
accept.
we go. Next comment.
And for a matter
Next.
of fact, Luis Enrique took the punt with selling selling Ugarte for 60 million to United to bring in a Joao Neves,
Wow,
and this
never.
is what Joao Neves is doing, by the way. I didn't see any United supporters speak of that. Bro.
Yeah.
Nice.
Declan has had the best season, even as a rival fan. I have to acknowledge it. I also remember him being linked with our club. I
Nah,
think
nah,
Declan was.
nah. He was never linked with Liverpool.
I
Nah,
don't think
nah,
he was
nah.
linked with. I think he was
He's
linked
linked
with
with City, bro.
City and
He was
United.
linked with
City and
City.
United.
He was linked with United. He was linked with Chelsea.
Prathamesh, you may know this very famous Spanish player called Martin Zubimendi.
Who?
He was linked to your last summer.
Mm-hmm. Vitinha won player of the match, but rating is low.
Eh,
Stats
See,
don't
do,
do
yeah,
justice
do
here.
exactly.
I do I throw in an unpopular opinion?
Bro.
Regarding PSG players or in general,
PSG, yeah.
uh,
PSG.
we'll come to that because I thought the next segment we'll talk about the PSG players.
Nah.
Hold on,
Okay,
we'll
okay.
take in the rest of the comments and we'll talk about
Yeah,
PSG players. Yeah. Arey Nana Sanchit Bhai, I'm not afraid just having fun. It would still be in my names in the stream. I had already left so many hints while commenting. What? What? What?
What?
What? What? What? What? No idea. Thomas Partey and Rice are different. Number six last season when he played bro. He played it regularly. That team adapted to him, and he adapted as well. Now the Partey was fit. Both team and Rice forgot the same. Okay.
No,
Thoughts. Thoughts.
no. Nadim.
Yeah, so when Rice was playing at number 6 last season, I think at times it was Trossard uh, on the left of midfield. Who all played there? We'll have to start from there
Havertz,
because
those
yeah,
issues.
Havertz?
Left of
Havertz used to
midfield,
play
right?
there in the
Havertz used
first
to
half
play.
of the season. Yeah, in the first half of the season.
And Fabio Vieira.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
If you
I get.
want, I think everyone knows that if you want to control the game, it's better if Partey plays there, because with Rice we'll have to be a bit more direct or go through the wings. Something. It's central progression is a bit tough with him. Again, if we had ball carrying midfielders ahead of him, it wouldn't have mattered much. But right now we only have Merino and Odegaard, who neither of whom are like a De Bruyne in their prime.
I agree.
Wow.
Yeah. As your eh,
Sorry, I just. Okay, okay.
ah, do
Then,
do I do I
okay, sorry.
put my point forward on Rice and Pate?
Yeah, yeah.
Sucheet, you all good?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Fight.
What's going on?
Is there just a US
He
fight
looks
going
us.
on in front of you?
Yeah, yeah. And I'm in Starbucks, right? So there were people here who didn't purchase anything, were just trying to charge their phone and all of that. And a fight broke between them and that. A police might even come as well. Uh,
Ah,
What has happened? I don't
getting
understand.
back to
yeah.
the conversations about
Part
Pate
getting
and getting
part
beating
getting a
soon when
beating soon
Salman
when Salman
really.
really.
Oh, how is Salman getting into the conversation? That what is going on?
Ainsley has something with Salman over.
I wonder why did Salman support Madrid? Does Ainsley support Barca? I wonder why.
No. Get back to the previous comment, Vamsi.
By the way, that interview of Robbie with
Voldemort.
Voldemort Uncle. Oh,
League.
Who
Lee
had
Judge.
watched it?
That Lee
League.
Judge, if
Lee
I'm not
Judges
wrong.
का कौन
Oh,
सा
I didn't
interview?
Lee
watch.
Judge. Bro, Lee Judge actually yelled at Robbie for
Huh?
Mikel Arteta's decision and for Arsenal's on-pitch display. He yelled at Robbie in that video. It's very
Mhm.
famous currently.
See, I watched AFTV interviews when it like James Lawrence or Robbie,
Yeah.
and only when we James I listen to even when we lose, but Robbie is only when we win. Because when we
Ah,
lose, he kind of tries to play that PR type of interview, but when we win, he's like proper vibes, right? So only those two I
agree.
because remaining all is just like never mind.
It's
Arteta was too defensive
bro.
yesterday only because Partey wasn't there, and thus those inside runs by Saka were limited. Okay, but I still
Ainsley
feel
is very
Saka didn't do
defensive.
enough in my opinion. Ooh,
I'll can I add to that? Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
please.
Yeah, so I don't think we were defensive. I think mainly we were stuck in two minds, especially in the first 30 minutes. I'm sure Arteta is not the kind of person to be stuck in two minds, but the players uh, weren't really sure of what to do. Once we solved the issue with them playing through the central areas, then we started to get into the game more. I found
Yeah.
it very interesting how the Stoke City approach was the most effective against them, and I think they have similar weaknesses to Real Madrid. They have more physicality than Real Madrid, or more height than Real Madrid, especially with Marquinhos and Paco, the other centre back. But I think we have
Sure.
something to play for that. We should settle on an approach for the second leg, whether we want to play like PSG or like Stoke City. I don't know because I think that's what it may come down to. With
That
Merino up
that
top, we could
won't
go
be a
direct.
bad
We could.
approach. That won't be a bad approach. I'm telling you.
And when I say Stoke City, what I mean is just to bypass their press. We don't have to
Yeah.
build up from the back. Just go
Egg.
along to Merino, get the ball to the final third, and then we can play our football. And that's the thing.
Simple man. It isn't even that difficult.
And the switches were so good. We lost the game, so there's a lot of negativity. No one's talking about this, but the switches, we know what to expect from Rice. He's one of the top two or three midfielders in the world. But even Kibio, no one's talking about Kibio this time because we lost the game. We are distracted from him. But some of the passes he played straight to Saka, 60 yards, 70 yards, it's something we have to use.
I
Even
agree.
Martinelli.
100%.
Even Martinelli, yeah, he did.
Apart
Yes,
from
yes,
that one
yes. I
slight
remember that.
mistake he made, he was really good with
Yeah.
his passing and defensive work yesterday.
I'll throw in another unpopular opinion. I felt that Kiwior was better than Saliba.
Yeah. But I don't know why they targeted Saliba more. The press was Saliba oriented for. They didn't
Because it
really
is
trouble Kylian much.
because we didn't actually try and build through Kiwior. It was only
Yeah.
in the second half when we actually
Yeah,
started to build through Kiwior.
Mm.
he was
It was
underutilized. I'll
primarily
agree.
Saliba who was given those responsibilities.
18 concurrent viewers. Oh my god. Okay. Anyway.
Bro is giddy.
Going viral.
Mm. Uh, keep liking the channel. Keep liking the stream and keep subscribing, guys. Sorry to interrupt. I just got too excited with the numbers. That's it.
अरे
Is the police here? Is the police
Yeah,
happening?
yeah. They came. They're like somewhere there. So that yeah, it's dude. It honestly feels very scary. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But yeah. What were we talking about? Huh. Okay. Regarding KBO, right? I thought when he was trying to run with the ball, he tried. I think he clicked that triple triangle and he almost lost the ball and got. But
yeah,
luckily,
yeah,
he didn't lose it because had he lost the ball there, oh my god, the
Oh yeah.
counter from PSG would have been something else.
yeah, yeah.
MLS did well there.
Mm-hmm. True, true. The next comment. Against Madrid at Emirates, if Mbappe scored that chance, then same thing, then like yesterday would have happened. Oh yeah. Mbappe did have a chance in the first 10 minutes. Yeah, I think this is a fair argument, this is a fair statement. No, in terms of like, I think we showed nerves against Madrid as well. It's just that we didn't concede in the first 10 minutes, whereas against PSG we showed nerves, but we conceded.
Yeah, and this was my main concern going into the games because it's also why I was happy that we are playing the first leg at home. In general, we know that we are a score first kind of team. It's hard, it's difficult to get back from it now. That is the truth.
Uh, yeah, that's the other comments. Okay. Odegaard wasn't even that bad, hard to do much when Nurse and Vitinha kept talking for 90 minutes. Uh, nah, bro,
Totally
I
don't
don't think
understand.
it was like that, but yeah. Use Martinelli as centre forward, Trossard as left wing. Oh God.
We did try
Uh,
rotating that
Yeah,
during the
we
game,
did
right?
try to rotate that. We did.
It
This
happened
Odegaard
once or
role
twice.
as an orchestrator and linking everything seems like a Xavi used to do for Barca. Just that it's a bit too much for him right now. Oh, uh,
He's not orchestrating as much.
he
yeah,
doesn't orchestrate
he's orchestrating the press. Beyond
press.
that, there's
Yeah,
nothing.
he doesn't
Exactly.
orchestrate the game.
Mm-hmm. True. Vivek bhai, भैया आप कभी कभी बहुत random बात. Oh yeah, trust me. Sometimes we just think that I think the doctor job just it goes. Yeah, even we are confused, bro. We have to ask him what happened. Odegaard might go for surgery this summer, I think. Huh? Surgery or yeah, I can't fully shout. I can't wholeheartedly
I
just
read
say,
I read a
yeah.
tweet yesterday. Someone
Hmm.
someone commented instead of a surgery, he needs to go for a therapy, and I was like,
Oh God. Oh God. Uh, भाई असली ज्ञान randomly
factos,
uh, fair, fair.
factos.
Bro,
no,
by
these
the way,
people are
just
having
go.
their own conversation in the
Ah,
comments.
that's what. That's what. Bro, by the way, just go and see Javed role.
No,
Arteta wants
no,
that. Okay,
please,
okay.
no,
I
no.
see. I was talking about that while I come.
तो मेरे
Oops,
को
I have
अभी
no
भी
idea.
I don't know what that was
No,
about, man.
no idea. So when we need to Arsenal is done, you will hear this first from me.
First,
Also.
अच्छा,
I think this. I think I know who this is. It's the Joel guy from the group, right?
Joel Arsenal, yeah.
Uh, got it. This was subtle into that. Okay, never mind. That famous Spanish player had also linked in London club in January. January. Okay. I already know what Parth is going to say. PSG midfield wasn't that bad and Vitinha wasn't that good. I agree. But tells me how poor we were without Partey. Okay. PSG,
Okay,
PSG.
what's your opinion, Parth?
Nah, it wasn't this opinion. Vitinha and Neves take the headlines, but I feel that their best midfielder is Fabian Ruiz.
So didn't I say this yesterday? Didn't I say this yesterday?
Yeah, he did.
Exactly.
Eat it.
This guy reads my mind.
But,
Exactly.
but sometimes you just have to come and realize that sometimes the rage in you isn't literally the rage, and you can just
The
speak your
the
mind.
wavelength just matches.
Road rage, more like fist fight.
Salman.
There was almost a fist fight here.
No, no,
Oh, okay,
this
Salman.
was the Salman point.
Okay, okay. Declan was linked with us for a very short period, probably 2 minutes. That is all. But we all know 100 minutes signings for Liverpool never is going to happen. Fair. Rusty, welcome, Rusty. A lot of these AFT Donnies, I only see them when they lose. Very
Hey,
toxic to the
Arey,
standards. I
don't
agree.
ask me, man. Don't ask me.
Love how the comment section discussion. Yeah, bro. We were clueless. MLS and Rice showed us the way by driving the ball, but we didn't follow up on it. MLS is sensational. We got stuck. Exactly. Exactly.
Asterisk. It only happened for the first 20 minutes. Yeah.
That's what the first 20 minutes we conceded. That is why. Had we not conceded in the first 20 minutes, we wouldn't have this conversation. It would be something
Yeah.
different. Thanks, Nadine, for bringing Kiver into conversation. And you three trust. Yes, not us three, we five, including Salman and Tata. We all agree. We all agree. I think the whole Trossard being up top meant we did not win second was. Other than that, first 30 minutes, we were slicing us like butter. Diagonal passes here, there, everywhere. Neves was bro. Yeah.
Neves had a
He was
masterclass.
so
In
good.
my
Yeah, he
perspective,
was
he
so good.
was their man of the match.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah, same,
Uh,
same.
m- Moral of story: Arsenal Football Club must score first. I can't remember we come back to win when we. But this, oh yeah, this season. Uh, this season I don't remember.
I don't think we've had a span of 5 wins in a row as well this season.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just like
As Palakar
Manchester
said,
United, by the way.
retrospective bias is funny, and we need to be prospective with about
Perspective
our views now.
about our
What
views.
what needs to be done in time and
Face.
discuss that.
Face. Face. Face.
This will be on Tuesday. What needs to be done? John Neves was a really good one. Nobody's denying that. Zubimendi was out from
Out
the
from the
poster.
poster.
Ooh, okay. Okay, we can transfer talk soon. Not today.
Oh,
I
damn.
don't fall in love with the player we haven't signed located. Oh God. And that and that brings
Locatelli, damn, bro.
Right
Man,
slow.
that guy, man, Locatelli.
uh,
Hate watch.
for, for
Hate
me
watch.
uh,
Draxler, Vlahovic, Aouar.
okay.
What
That
is
Wilfred
brings
Zaha.
Draxler
us
even
to
doing
the
now?
that brings us to the PSG side again. Nadim, one PSG player that you want to talk about. Anything, anything. It could be negative, it could be positive, anything.
Ooh,
And Nadim is
it's gone.
okay. Okay, we'll start with Aarush then. Aarush, and one PSG player that you want to talk about, or any unpopular opinion or popular opinion that you want to
Even
discuss about.
I actually wanted to speak on Fabian Ruiz because I think
Mm,
his job role at his player profile at job role. His player profile at PSG has been quite an underrated work because
Yeah.
mm,
only for a fact that Luis Enrique knows this player the most in the squad than anyone else. Why?
Yeah.
mm,
Because of the Spanish national team. Why?
mm,
Because of their previous pursuits of the Euros, of the World Cup. I mean, I don't know if Luis Enrique was there during the Euros with them, the 2021, but
mm,
for a fact that this guy is one of the most intelligent midfielders I've seen. This guy is a proper resonance of what a Spanish midfielder looks like.
mm,
And
Beautiful. Yes.
I have watched a lot of Fabian Ruiz because I've been supporting Spain. And for a
mm,
matter of fact, how he's managing to bring the same stuff into Luis Enrique's football and
mm,
working with two young midfielders who don't have enough experience in their backs. And this guy is taking control and it's going under the radar because why? He's older, he's much more taller, he doesn't
mm,
have the speed, he doesn't have the aesthetics and stuff
mm,
like that. But the understanding of passing lanes that this guy has.
mm,
And I saw it in particular in the first half when we were still trying to get the ball from them. This guy was baiting press, taking the ball back, playing
mm,
Yes.
passes, not playing the obvious passes, making Odegaard run in circles, by the way. This was Odegaard
mm,
out of possession running in circles when Fabian Ruiz had the ball. And then the positional understanding. We have seen, we've analyzed a lot on their goal,
mm,
the Dembele goal. But in that
mm,
run, the role of Fabian Ruiz, exactly when Nuno Mendes released the ball, Fabian
mm,
Ruiz ran from midfield straight ahead. Why? To distract both Rice and Timber which then
Yeah.
gave space to Kvaratskhelia, bro.
Mm,
This is game changing. You wouldn't think of it directly, but then
mm,
once you actually watch like a replay of this, and you just realize as to how smart this was. And he maintained to keep this level throughout the game, which
mm,
I would agree later to say that Joao Neves ended up being the better midfielder out of the three for me.
mm, mm,
But
mm.
Fabian Ruiz can't be understated. This guy
Ah,
was
So
damn
so
good.
good. It was as Aarush pointed out, the understanding of movement. So
mm,
that first goal was basically Joao Neves was on the right hand side. He was
mm,
as good as the right back.
mm,
He played it into the centre backs. He ran forward. He
mm,
started to go inside. Dembele
mm,
started to drop deep.
mm,
Vitinha came short. Fabian Ruiz darted forward, and it
mm,
was bam within a second. It was five PSG attackers with Dembele receiving the ball, and
mm,
Three too fast.
that combination was so beautiful. It was Kvaratskhelia, Fabian Ruiz, uh, was the third
No
guy,
one,
man.
Joao Neves,
Joao
Parth,
Neves and Hakimi.
Joao Neves, Desiree Doué, and Hakimi.
Hakimi. That was so good, and it was man that whole passage of play man got me
This
shook,
goal
man.
and this analysis to the comparison to Liverpool's goal is going to be spoken of for a long time, at least
Identical.
tactically.
It's identical, man. And a shout out to the guy who made it all happen on Twitter. I mean,
Oh,
he was the first guy who I saw, and his thread was. I mean, it wasn't a thread; it was just analysis, a video analysis, but it was top class, top
yep.
class.
He created this trend. By the way.
mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Part.
I'm just glad that Aarush noticed the Fabian Ruiz thing.
Mhm.
Is him?
Bro, my first tweet
Have it.
of the game uh on PSG, apart from
Mm,
PSG's press being the best, was on Fabian Ruiz taking control. And
mm,
Love it.
mm,
since that moment, because I've watched over the past week for the analysis that I had to put up, I had to watch PSG. And this guy was so good. And for a matter of
I
fact, he
agree.
did this versus Arsenal. And
mm.
the world has still not seen it. Majority of Arsenal fans have still not seen it. But just to put it out there, this guy is one of the best. And if
I
you want
agree.
to target, and if you would want to target someone from Spain last season, I'd say it would be a Fabian Ruiz after the Euro spell, than Omerino for what
Uh,
we needed in
Hundred
terms of
people,
percent.
people,
Xhaka's.
people hope that Fabian Ruiz was the winner of that best player of the
Yep.
tournament instead of
Yeah, yeah.
Rodri.
He was
Mm.
it was Lamine Yamal. I think it
Yamal,
was.
Yamal, Yamal. Yeah, ha, ha.
And Fabian Ruiz was on smoke in the Euros, man. He was crazy good. Crazy good.
Mm, 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 mm. Uh, okay. Nadeem, I hope everything is fine. Yeah. Okay. Next. Parth, what are your unpopular opinion? Is something you want to talk about? Was it about Fabian Ruiz or was it something else?
Yeah, it was about Fabian Ruiz.
Okay.
The
So,
exact thing
The
that
power
uh,
outage. Sorry. Yeah.
no worries, no worries.
You were
Parth, any
asking me
player that,
something. Yeah, but carry on.
okay, we'll
yeah.
start with you then. Nadeem,
No, no,
one
no.
player, no,
Hmm.
any PSG player that you want to talk about or any opinion that you want to talk about PSG?
Yeah, when I watch intense, important games for Arsenal, I think a lot of us usually don't focus on particular players or are not able to focus on players a lot. But Neves did stand out because he had his feet in stuck in on crucial moments. Joe Neves did stand out. I don't remember Marquinhos or Fabian Ruiz what they did. I'll have to watch the game again to know how impactful they were. I don't know. I think Ashraf Hakimi does have some weaknesses. Maybe that's one player we could have targeted if we had a winger who was in form on that side. I don't know. Yeah.
Uh, One player I'd like to talk about, it's Dembele, and it's not for the goal he scored.
Yes,
It
sir.
isn't for the goal he scored. It was firstly, he has never been a centre forward. He's predominantly a winger, and the kind of role change that he's experienced, and to execute that at a very high level, and that to playing as the false nine is very very difficult. You have to understand the team's movements and you have to coordinate your movements looking at that, and he did it time and again, and it was all down to the chemistry that the front line and the midfield had, that they were able to capitalize on the situations that Dembele was generating, and it was majorly because of Dembele that they created the attacks they did. Incredible performance, man. That 7.2 doesn't do justice.
Yeah.
For me, it was the top three players for PSG for me would be Dembele, Fabian Ruiz, and Joao Neves.
Correct. Also, do you guys think that the system was made sure that the system was played to Dembele's movements rather than Dembele adapting to the rest of the team play? Do you think it was like that?
Dembele's movements triggered all the succeeding movements. So yeah, he was key.
Fair enough. Uh, in the PSG game, right? I do want to talk about Desiree Doué. Uh, Prior to this game, people were like, "Oh, he's incredible. He's just going to ruin our
Thank you. Thank you.
defenders and all of that." I get it. He has incredible flair, the flair that footballing world has been missing from all Brazilian players out there. Because these days, Vinicius is such a wannabe. He's not good at it. Desiree Doué does it so effortlessly, which is why he gets credited highly. And the fact that he's very young. But yesterday, I like how he was trying to get beat his player through trickery, but that was also a downfall majority of the times.
Yeah.
When it happened near our box, he failed, but when it happened near like the half line, that's where he was more successful, in my opinion. So when people said, "Oh, Desiree Doué was insane in the entire game yesterday," I don't agree with that.
No.
I agree he had good moments, but if you just see like 2 or 3 seconds beyond those moments, he's not being successful at all. I think the biggest example we could see was when he was on the left wing, right? He did a nice trick to get past Timber, but then he lost the ball exactly at
Yeah.
the box.
Yeah.
Because had he gone there and put in a cross and then they scored, it would have been different. I wouldn't have much complaints, but he lost the ball at a very important position, right? So that is my only criticism about PSG card this thing.
What
Apart from
what
that,
you've
I don't.
just said,
Mm,
what you've just said basically describes aesthetics bias. It's just that.
mm,
It is just
mm.
that. People would pay money to watch a winger like Desiree Doué, Kvaratskhelia.
Mm.
People won't pay money to watch the likes of Bukayo Saka. Because
Uh-huh.
But
Bukayo Saka,
he did take.
what he does is
Mm,
effective, and
mm,
what all of the other wingers do predominantly is that
mm,
they try to be very creative, which
mm.
is not the need of the hour.
True, true.
Yeah.
Nothing you were saying?
But he did. It did take 2 or 3 players to stop him, and like Desiree Doué. I
Yeah,
think your appraisal of his performance was pretty accurate, but I think there are warning signs that he can be a difference
100%.
maker if he picks out those
100%.
final balls.
True, true, true.
Yeah.
That is the point, right? He had all the flair to beat his man, but when it came to those important positions, right, I
Final
don't think he was
actions, yeah.
effective enough. That is
For
what I
for
think.
for a winger who is that nimble on his feet and who's that adept at trickery, for him to produce the final product is very very difficult. And it happens with a lot of wingers where they are very good technically or with their feet, but when it comes to producing the final action, they just aren't it. It happens with a lot of wingers.
People are saying all PSG's forwards are two-footed, and Desiree Doué was confident to use his left foot as well. But I don't know how good he is with it. He
Wait,
did try some shots.
he's predominantly the right foot or left foot?
He's
Right
right
foot, huh?
footed.
Right foot,
Yeah, I
right?
think he's
Okay,
right.
okay. And Dembele, 2 foot, you could say. Kvaratskhelia, both foot,
Yeah,
you
he
could say.
scored against Aston Villa with his left foot. It
Uh-huh,
was
left foot,
blind.
yeah. True, true. One other thing I want to talk about the Arsenal, which I spoke in yesterday as well on stream with Aarush and all these people. For some reason, yeah. So when Arsenal go into a duel, we either win a deal or we win the second ball or we do both. Yesterday, for some reason, even when we won a deal, the ball wouldn't fall for us. It always
Yeah.
fell to a PSG player. Do you think, was that like a luck factor or do you think it's just the positioning of PSG's players?
Positioning of players, the midfield composition.
Okay. Um, do you think that would change if you bring on up a Thomas Partey?
100%. 100%.
Wow.
For sure.
Bringing in one player, what I'm not even talking about, Thomas Partey being elite. I'm just saying, even if Thomas Partey isn't as good as he is at performing his duties, it's just the chain reaction that he brings to the team. Thomas Partey goes in at 6, Rice
Yeah,
goes in at 8, Merino goes in at 9, and it brings in the
Complete reset.
physicality that we desperately lacked with Trossard up front.
yeah. I hope that works out in our favor because PSG hasn't basically had a chance to watch Partey and how he plays against them. So, hopefully
Yeah,
that
yeah,
we
100%.
can capitalize on the first 25 minutes that like they did against us.
And even,
Uh,
low key, I'm not even that concerned about the first 25 minutes. Even if at halftime the score is 0-0, I still back us to go and get a goal. It's just about not conceding the first goal. Well, I'm
Exactly.
pretty
My
Yeah,
sure
next
the
question would be, what
goal
do
we
you
want
reckon
would
happens if
come.
we concede first?
Uh,
yeah. At the
uh,
end of the day, it's only 1-0.
we're taking a few
I
comments and we'll
agree.
continue.
I agree. Yeah.
When deserves his chance in the second leg, if someone puts a sticker in that game, just give him 20 minutes or 15 minutes. Huh, agreed.
Nadeem pointed that out.
Now, this point actually, it didn't like strike me like why Veneri was not given those many minutes. It kind of makes sense now. But probably if you have a stable
Yeah,
midfield, then you would definitely bring him on much
Yeah.
quicker, I guess. Yeah.
I think that's an Arteta issue basically. He. I wish he was more brave with that. Just a
Yeah.
little more. Yeah.
The counter argument would be that you brought in Veneri into a midfield that is still sorting out its own imbalances,
And
and
what
you
if?
conceded.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's only 1-0,
exactly.
so it makes sense. If it was a second leg, okay, fine.
Well,
Hundred
Yeah,
percent. Yeah,
benefit
Veneri
yeah.
on.
didn't
Yeah.
come in midfield yesterday. Well, he came on as a winger
He has a
with
winger. Yeah.
Saka
Yeah, yeah.
coming in midfield.
In the end, he came on for Saka.
Dembele out means good for.
Not surely that is out.
Yeah, exactly. And
Exactly.
we do not wish on injuries on any player. That's for sure. PSG midfield pace was controlled, but Dembele basically got freedom to move
Ah,
everywhere. So marking with the
made the
that's what
point
Parth said.
about our defenders following him after a point. Yeah.
Mhm.
Dembele didn't
Uh,
do a lot after the first 20 minutes. He was moving all over the field, but he was
mhm.
tame.
Mhm. Technical prowess of PSG beat the physicality of Arsenal reminds me of the only time we beat.
No, but we didn't try to make it a physical game. When we did, they were punched out for
They
60 minutes.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Exactly. Like
It
this
isn't the
game, right?
technical prowess that
Mm,
beat us. And I'm
mm,
sorry, it wasn't.
See, if you said this for a game against Liverpool, I'll agree because Liverpool completely and utterly dominated. This game wasn't like that. So to tell
I
that,
know.
oh, we've lost against a very technical team isn't right in my
No,
opinion.
no, no.
Out of context, very bad wasn't it? Detective? He was no idea what this means, but okay.
There's a whole subplot.
What the hell?
Was he actually
Uh,
Kalakar?
Was about me being. But he isn't Kalakar. Hey, what is he? I don't know.
yeah, I don't know. By the way, guys, got to go dinner time. I loved it here and had fun. Was must and rest. My name Bhailo. Cheers. Good lad. See, I'm trying. Okay, I'm trying. Suchi is busy solving real world. Mm, bro,
Hmm.
I genuinely got scared for like solid 10 minutes because it almost turned into a fist fight. Police came in, and I'm like, okay,
Average day he was though. No?
yeah.
Average age. I agree.
It was a technical problem because our press wasn't able to win tackles and they were able to get the ball to the wingers easily.
I have a different thought about this. We
Mm,
actually wanted to curb the central progression and wanted them to play it
mm,
out wide and play the long
mm,
ball. So
mm.
basically, I'd say we succeeded in making PSG do what we wanted them to do. Thoughts?
The reason we weren't able to win tackles is our players were always a few feet away from where they wanted to be when each player receives the ball from PSG. So basically, they beat our press, and that's how you were second best to a duel. No, we were always reaching for the duel. That's the problem.
Arush, would you agree with my comment?
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Fair
Honestly,
enough. Completely disagree with.
this is
It's
he
fine.
said it to
He
this.
This is fine. This is fine.
he still got the thing in his mind where PSG was completely dominating us in the first 20 minutes.
See, I
I
agree.
strongly
See,
suggest you to go and watch the game back.
this stat is a fact. What had happened, but if you look into the effectiveness, right? Again, if you want stats, I can bring out the effective stats out of it. Where is the effective stat? Huh. This is the effective stat. They had the ball, but look at their XG. We didn't have much
It's
of the ball, but
just
look at
the
our XG.
it's
And
just the
also, like I
aesthetics
pointed
for me.
out last night on
Mm,
stream as well, they
mm,
had an XG of 0.37 till the 70th minute or something, and those two
mm.
chances made up for it.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. And they might
yes,
have been
So
offside, but it was never checked
Yeah.
yeah,
because the play went
mm,
on for 1 2.
uh-huh.
Yep.
it's just
Oops.
aesthetics bias when it comes to
Mm.
PSG.
Uh, wha- Actually, I want to bring this into picture, right? Look at the heat maps of Dembele, like how Nadeem said the drop. Nadeem or Parth, I forgot.
Yeah,
Bringing
I
in dropping in the
Yeah.
midfield. But I want to talk about Kvaratskhelia because Kvaratskhelia didn't have the tracking back in him. At least when I remember seeing him at Napoli,
yeah,
I remember him doing it for Georgia because I think he needed to do that for Georgia. But him tracking back was very crucial in the way Saka didn't have enough of the ball. I think people need to even see that it was not just Bruno Mendes versus Saka. It was like a
And I
whole lot
think
of.
that's
Hmm.
not Kvaratskhelia even tracking back. That's where PSG were trying to build from majorly
Hmm, hmm,
with
hmm,
even the fouls that were drawn. It was
hmm.
majorly from that deep area, the
yeah.
red part you see next to Luis Enrique's box.
Here,
So
here.
it makes sense.
Mhm. Because yeah, that's what like, so here the Luis Enrique side, that's where he would get the ball, and look at Dembele's positioning, like him in the midfield here.
I
That
think
was
with Dembele, it was more of utilizing Desiree Doué, Dembele, and Hakimi in order to find a pattern between Kivior and MLS because
mm,
Merino couldn't track back all
mm,
throughout,
Yeah,
and
mm,
his positioning in terms of dueling also there was not
mm,
the best in terms of out of position. In position, he was decent, but
mm,
I just think that it would have been so for the rotations and the numericals of purity that they would bring from just that channel
yeah,
mm.
because they also ended up switching this thing, right? Flanks, Desiree
Yeah,
Doué
true.
and Kvaratskhelia
Mhm,
once.
mhm. That incident where I mentioned that he got past Timber but lost the ball at the edge of the box, that was on the left hand. That was on the
hmm.
left hand. That one, yeah.
Yeah.
Sanchit says that actually has nothing to do with the midfield. Vitinha and Co were press resistant and bypassed our press. Unlike unlike Modric and Kamavinga, this is the reason we missed Partey pressing resistance. Fair. I mean,
We
mm,
talked about this.
true, true, true. Uh, we can definitely talk about Odegaard, but uh, I think we've spoken a lot about him. The fact that we still have a second leg to play and then maybe judging the whole thing would be a better option
Yeah.
because you never know. Maybe it is the hope that kills because
Nah, 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 nah. If the score was like 2-0, 3-0, I would have said that it is the hope that kills. But 1-0 is pretty gettable. Come on.
Mm-hmm. Because if you look at the three performance that I want to talk that I saw, it kind of like made sense. And the Arsenal side of things, look where Saka was stuck. He was barely getting any time in the middle until he shifted to the middle, right? And then Odegaard was in the position that he was supposed to be doing bits for Arsenal, but didn't do much. And then Mikel Merino was
That
everywhere.
This
And then
that
him,
is
Merino touch map is nice, man.
yeah, Merino touch map was pretty nice. It's just that he was jogging the first 10 minutes. That is why we can't see the goal. But yeah.
but
Mm,
if I were to talk about Odegaard, there would be
mm,
one thing I would specifically like to point out.
mm.
I think it's about time he starts leaving Bukayo Saka shadows. No, he needs to develop a more central role where he's more effective, because at
Mhm.
every bit of inconvenience his natural tendency is to go to the right and find Saka when it isn't feasible. He still tries to do that out of habit. He needs to curb that, because that is bringing us nothing. It is just frustrating us more and more. I don't know if it's manager's instructions or what, but yeah, I don't get behind that.
Yeah, we streamed for 2.5 hours. I'm glad that we didn't go beyond this because it would become very repetitive as well, same
Yeah.
points again and again. Uh, I have few interesting stats that we can talk about, but I will give the chat about a minute and a half to give in their final comments, and then we can wrap up the stream with our final comments. Okay. First thing, this one, Donnarumma 5 saves tonight was the joint most in the Champions League this season and the most by a PSG goalkeeper without conceding in the Champions League
Correct.
knockout since Opta started recording since 2003-2004.
And also another stat I saw and that I put up in my article as well was the
Hmm.
PSG passage of play had 26 passes, and
Hmm.
I read
that's
it.
the joint most
Most.
in the history of a semi-final. Plus, it
Hmm.
is PSG's highest they've scored. It is Arsenal's highest that they've ever conceded in the Champions League as
Yeah,
well.
I read it.
You
I read it.
know, that goal is actually a little similar to the goal Barcelona scored against Juventus. It was also early in the game in the final. It was Rakitic who
Which
scored.
goal?
So the
Oh,
ball was switched
Rakitich's
to
goal.
Neymar. Yeah, Neymar played in
Yeah, yeah.
Iniesta, and Iniesta reversed the ball to Rakitic.
The Rakitic half volley
It's
or
a little
foot volley
similar.
finish.
No, it
Huh.
was a yeah, it was a similar
Okay.
finish with his left foot.
Hmm.
Wow.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Another one is this one, which yeah, this yeah. Saka
Ah,
booked
ha,
Linesman
ha,
was
ha.
right in front. How
Yeah,
could you not see the Nuno
yeah,
Mendes
Nuno
was playing for
Mendes
the
did exactly what he had to do there.
Yeah, this
trip?
And
was an L
once
moment.
he once he lost, once he fell to ground, he wanted to bring down Saka because he knew it was not a
yeah.
foul, and it
Hmm.
continued. It and
I did.
people have come into the consensus that Bukayo Saka was locked down by Nuno Mendes.
No, he was
I
not.
am
He was
I
not.
am one of Mendes's biggest fans because of how
Yeah.
cool and composed he is. Okay,
Hmm.
leave all the attributes that he has, he's very calm. And
Hmm.
what he brings from a back three for PSG is very key.
Hmm.
But yesterday wasn't the day to say that he had the better of Saka yet again.
True.
This is twice in 2 games that have had the better advantage of Nuno, because
Hmm.
only for the fact that they had doubling up, tripling up, that people would want to say that if you go to see if you go to see the stats, if I'm not wrong, Mendes has
Hmm.
lost the most duels in the game as well, or something like that.
Do you want me to pull it up or like
I remember reading it on Footmob.
wait? I'll just go so fast for uh
Footmob would know.
lineups.
Yeah, I saw like a meme with Timber and
Hmm.
Mendes stats. Yeah,
Okay.
Kvaratskhelia,
Oh, okay,
a-
Nuno Mendes
and
won the most duels, but
Hmm.
at the same time, wait, let me just say, where is it?
Nandi,
And
you
at
were
the
saying?
same time, Bukayo Saka completed the most dribbles in the game.
Wow.
yeah, and Timber had better stats, is what I was saying, than Nuno
Yep.
Mendes.
Because yeah, I mean,
That's
yeah,
just the tags that There's this perception that Kvaratskhelia was cooking Timber. He was not, man.
hmm,
Yeah,
hmm,
Dribbling past Timber once doesn't mean that you have had the better of him, man. Come on.
hmm,
yeah,
true, definitely.
Timber
yeah. He
didn't
never
have
I'd
that.
agree
dribbled
that he
past
made
actually.
him the most uncomfortable. That I'd say.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I agree. I agree. I agree.
Hmm. One last interesting stat I think would be very encouraging before we have a stream on Monday talking about how and what changes we could bring in. I thought this is pretty interesting for people out there. This one. For
Anything
64
very
years,
important.
there were only 6 occasions when a team lost a first leg at home and went through. In the last 6 years, it had happened 5 times. PSG has been involved in it three
opium,
times.
premium,
OPM.
premium drugs.
Miguel
Make what
Devil.
make what you
I
want.
just say one thing: the tie is far from done.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and it is true that PSG have a choking gene. Not like we have been here many times in the recent seasons, but still, I think mentally. if we can take the game deep, 1-0 is definitely not any sort of a comfortable lead for them. They will start making mistakes.
100%. 100%.
Definitely, definitely. Yeah, looks like the chat has also gone to sleep. It's almost 11
Yes.
o'clock there. People are either preparing for the Inter versus Barca game. Sorry,
Oh
Barca
yeah,
was the Inter
I
game.
keep on forgetting that there's this game
yeah,
after
yeah.
that, man.
I should.
Crazy.
Guys, we still have another
What do
match.
you all reckon happens in that game, by the way? Who do you all want to progress, considering Arsenal are on the back foot?
See, PSG versus Inter would be an insane game because PSG doesn't know how to sit back, right? Like stopping all. So it'll be a
Inter
crazy
have their
game.
number.
I just want the Arsenal guys to be in the same boat, so I want Inter to win the first leg.
I think I'd give
There
my
should be
one-nil
Yeah.
there should be a
prediction to
sense
Inter.
of what might happen if we don't win the treble. I want to see it in them. And
Well, the
हम
race
लोग
for
डूब
the
रहे तो हम
Ballon d'Or
साथ में
at
लेके
least
डूबेंगे
has.
यार. हम डूब रहे तो साथ में लेके डूबेंगे. Simple.
But
The Ballon
they tell
d'Or
that
race has also gotten better though. With Dembele with a goal yesterday,
Are
he
this
could.
guy? Yes,
okay,
yes,
okay.
yes.
I
Nadeem,
mean, I
who do
hate
you
to
think
say,
will win?
yeah, I don't like to say, it, but I think Inter is a stronger team. I still think that. Yeah, saying that will be on show today.
Let's see.
Yeah, I keep forgetting that there's that game, like you said, but I'm now wondering. I think I should watch it. Will you guys be watching?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'll be watching the game.
I have nothing else
Yeah,
to do anyways. I'll watch it. Pakka, no
Hate
doubt.
Yeah,
watch.
it's
hopefully.
Hate watch.
No, not hate watch. I'll just watch it because
yeah,
Hate
it's,
watch.
I think it's the first time I'm ever going to watch a Barca game only because every time it has been some other game and then Barca on the side. But like today, it's going to be a Barca game alone because there's no other match
Bro,
happening.
you'll enjoy Inzaghi's football. I'm just saying.
you.
Just watch
Yeah,
out for the rotations of midfielders playing in defense and defenders
Ha ha
playing
ha
in
ha.
midfield.
center backs. Yeah, it'll be fun.
Yeah. And Nadeem,
Yeah, I
you're
was
saying?
wondering about. Yeah, I was wondering about the stress and the job that the coaches and the tacticians of these clubs, PSG and Arsenal, have to go through because they're up watching it, and then they have
Hmm.
to go and study Bournemouth, and they have to do
It's
PSG again.
crazy. It's actually mental, man.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah,
Bournemouth.
I do this much analysis and I'm like, oh man, I've cracked it. I've done it all. And then I realize that Arteta does 10,000 times more than what I do. It's crazy, man. It's crazy.
And regarding those passing patterns of how, or not the passing fact, okay. Regarding the passing patterns and the press baiting that PSG has been doing, right? I thought I found that. I even messaged on our stream group saying, guys, I figured out a pattern. I can't believe I did this. Next
And
thing I
it
know,
gives you a sense of accomplishment, man. It's
no, no,
fair.
no, no, no. Because literally like 10 or 25 minutes later, Parth retweets something regarding that guy showing the similarity between that how they scored against Arsenal and Liverpool with the
Yeah.
same pattern that I figured. I'm like, bro, one tactical good thing I
Right.
brought,
yeah.
but yeah,
It makes you feel better about yourself.
eh, it's fine. It's fine. Anyways, I think the chat has gone to sleep or are preparing for the inter game. Any final words from the panelists? Nothing? Straight on
No
Monday, we'll see
injuries
what is
against
I
happening.
Bournemouth.
Hmm.
I will not be predicting any scores for the second leg. You guys caused it. I'm telling you, you guys were the one who are responsible for this loss. You guys are the one.
See, I've done everything. I've worn the same hoodie again. I'm sitting behind the same background again. I ordered the same coffee as well. I'm trying to
Bro,
go back.
Arsenal cooked me so much that I had to come with an FC Goa jersey because they ended up winning a semi-final and they're in the finals now. Imagine. That's how cooked we are, bro.
Nadeem, any rituals that you did before something different before the PSG game when compared to when compared to the medal game?
No, I don't have any rituals that I can think of. But
We
yeah,
don't. Even we don't. It's just that Arsenal lost. That is why we're trying to go back to the national things.
I watched the games at screening center at
Hmm.
a place with other fans.
Hmm.
So big game or easy home games that we can win, I go there. It's a vibe watching the Emirates on the big screen.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah.
That's maybe a ritual I have.
Because yesterday, right? So we had a guy called Vineet. He lives in London and he goes to the Arsenal games as well. Yesterday was the first time Arsenal lost with him in a stadium. He's gone to the close to 15 matches, and the 16th match they lost.
Oh, it's not looking good, bro. Oh yeah,
Because if you look at it, Dembele's goal was out of the world. Because it didn't make any sense, and then him going there. Again, like I said, it will become very repetitive. We can keep continuing. We'll just end the stream. Uh,
yeah.
yeah. On Monday, we'll have another stream. Will we do another Premier League stream tomorrow or day after tomorrow? I don't think so. I need a break as well. Shit has gone down last weekend, so yeah, I just need a personal break from all this shit. But yeah, see you guys soon. Till then, good morning, good evening, good night, wherever you are in the world. Bye bye. Peace.
Bye. Good night.
Bye.